If you have a side window molly there and it runs into it and then it restricts it, if there's not a wall sewn into that and the air can travel forward, now that pocket of air, in my opinion, is going to get bigger and it's going to be harder. So the pressure that your head's going to land into is now going to be more, right? Because this is all split-second reaction shit.
James.
How are you?
The mad pirate himself. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. Good.
Cheers for coming down. Where's your beer?
Cheers.
Where's your brewski?
Over there.
Cheers for coming down, mate. Thank you. We've got, for those watching, I had my arm twisted. We got Pirate Life Brewing South Coast Pale Ale.
The absolute best, might I add.
That one's had a hard life.
What did you do to it?
It's come in a 4-pack. I don't know. We've got 2 4-packs in there for you. I did pinch one before it.
It's good.
You were in some traffic, so I was like, fuck,
Oh, it was terrible.
I'll start the party alone. I don't mind.
Someone's got to.
Someone's got to. This one doesn't drink because he drives, and I don't drink and drive, but I'll drink and Uber.
Oh, and you got a sober driver over here.
Yeah. Oh dear. So you tripped down with shit. So we'll bypass that little part of the story. But Pirate Camco. So I feel like I fucking repeat myself all the time. But for anybody that's been living under a rock, give us a bit of a rundown on Pirate Camco because it's you're a fucking lunatic. I love it. I love your energy. But give us a rundown on Pirate Camco. Where'd that start? What was the starting sort of igniting spark?
I don't know if I should tell the true story.
Tell the truth.
It's a bit of a. That's pretty good to be fair. So, I started my original business in 2016. So we were doing mobile welding. With basically, I had 10 grand in a credit card, a couple of grand in the bank, sold my house, sold everything, and just restarted my life. Me and the wife.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I kicked off back into my trade, started mobile welding, and basically I was on the Mrs. Mum's back patio, TIG welding shit on people's boats. People would come around like, oh, I want to fucking electric bow mount in my boat. Yeah, no worries, man. TIG it up and do all this sorts of shit. And then was spending all that money back on buying gear because I had fuck all really, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then as we grew, spend more, I got a few lucky things where I managed to get into a quarry, and we were getting a bit of work. They wasn't getting a good hourly rate, but I was getting enough to get by and then feed money back into the business, buy more machinery, which then got me to like, say, 2020.
Yeah.
And I'd got along the way, getting a lot of good maintenance contracts. And let's say 2017, I brought my first CNC plasma, so my first workshop bit of equipment.
Yeah.
And I had a mate of mine that owned a company called Pro Powder Coat. He's sold up now, but absolute legend, right? Adam was like, one day I was down there getting powder coating done. He goes, dude, where do you build this? I'm like, oh, in Mrs. Mum's backyard. And he's like, nah, come down here, man, cart a piss a week. Little corner at the back of my powder coat shed. No, you can rent that. And I was like, man, this is sick. So I went down there to help him maintain some of his equipment. And then I was there for like 12 months. And that enabled me to then buy this CNC plasma and start looking at things. And then I brought that with zero idea about CAD or how to run one.
It's always a good way to start.
Oh, man, I was like, let's just buy it and see what happens. Can I make it work? Can we make a business out of it? See what happens. So then we did that. And then we went from there and I sort of left there because I was taking up too much space then, found myself a shed, and then we basically put the machine in that shed, and I decided to start doing collapsible fire pits because back then I was camping anyway, right?
Yep.
So it was like, let's do collapsible fire pits and do some custom ones and start selling them. So we started doing that, had a mate of mine help them draw them on the side, things like that, and we started going and selling them to shows, so like the Gold Coast Caravan one, they've got the ones up here at bloody like the one at Toowoomba and all that, the Australian event ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So we started selling them there. And then one thing that was happening, I had another mate of mine, Steve, who was a customer of mine first. He came along to a couple of shows just to help me sell them, right? And we were sitting there half the time. People had products. The products were good. Like the idea was good. The execution, fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So they'd miss like 15% of what it could be.
Yeah.
So then we were like constantly like, fuck, we should do that product. But we'll make it better and we'll be able to sell that. And we were doing this for months and months. And then one night we decided we were going to actually, as time went on, something I really wanted to do for a long time is build like a toy hauler or a camper kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Like a really sick one. I think at the time, Patriot might have brought out their first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's sick. Fuck, I could not afford that. It was like,
the
like
first
100
one.
grand, right?
I was going to say the first ones were fucking up there.
I think they were like 80. I think they might have been like 85 to buy. And then it was like, by the time you went, I was average about 100 grand. I was like, oh man. But I was like, you know what? We should build one, but build something different and make it a little bit of a different touch and make it a little bit better. Can we make it better? And then we went down this road of talking that shit. We decided we we're going to do it. And then me, him, and my missus were sitting at the old campfire one night, just at the front of the shed on the beers, and we were like, got to come up with a name. And then my wife was like, Pirate. I'm like, what? She goes, you want to steal everyone's ideas and make them better? We're going to call you the Pirates.
I was fucking going to go down there, you pirate and shit. I love it.
Yeah, so then we came up with Pirate Camp Go.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck, let's do this. And we were pumped. And then, unfortunately, Steve and I, we kind of, we didn't have enough money to probably build a trailer. We had nowhere near enough money to market it, and we kind of started going our separate ways. So we just split off, and off we went, you know.
Yeah.
And he's off doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, and I just kept working up my business, and then kept building and actually buying more machinery, buying laser cutters. And so I graduated from a CNC plasma to a laser cutter, and I had this old busted ass brake press. I paid 10 grand for it. It was called an upbend. So I don't know if you've seen them, but the top of a brake press, normally the top comes down and then it folds.
Yeah.
This one, the bottom V came up to the top of the blade. So it was old as hell. It was like 1981.
It's before they'd worked out how to invert hydraulics.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right, okay.
And it was a piece of shit, right? All the seals were worn on one of them, so it would like press on the piss. You'd have to pack up V's and that to try and get it to press square. It was a nightmare, right? And I was like, oh yeah, but I kept pushing at it. Then I eventually upgraded to a CNC and worked my way through. And then in 2021, I decided I was going to buy, forever I wanted to buy a 79.
Yeah.
Right? I love them. So I was like, I'm getting one for like 10 years. And I finally could afford to buy it. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting a 79.
Yeah.
So I put one on order, and it was like start of the year, and I got it in September. And when I got the car, I was doing the build, and I was so fucking let down by everybody. Like, you would not believe.
What do you mean?
Like, just the quality of work. I drop it in.
All
like,
the aftermarket stuff?
Oh, yeah, man. Like, I want to Self-I Go. And they're like, yeah, no worries. Tech screws in the floor. And I was like, what the hell?
Wow.
Like, there was just so much dodgy shit. And then I was buying stuff for it. Like, I wanted custom headlights.
Yeah.
Got these custom headlights from this dude. Got them out, went to put them in, and like they were sealed like shit. All the Sikaflex was hanging out the side, so the light like bulged out of the guard. It was just a shit job. I brought a strut kit, no instructions, buddy, no photos, nothing of how to bolt it. I'm like, this is shit. I'm on the internet zooming in, trying to figure out where. So I just threw it in the bin.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's what sparked me to go into the space I'm in now, into the accessory space. So it was because you spend 80 grand on a car. Like now you're spending 100, 150 grand a 300 series. Yeah. And people are spending that much money. Then they're going to spend another 50, 80 grand doing it up. Yeah. And people are just driving tech screws into it. And I'm like that for me was my whole point where I was like, right, we need to do something and do something cool. Yeah. And then that's how Pirate became, that's how it went from doing that idea originally of I'm going to build a mat and toy hauler to we're doing this now. And that's where it kind of evolved to, which is sick.
That's really cool. We've spoken a few times about doing. We've got a bit of a design for a toy hauler that we wanted to do, but it's literally the same. But my process was the same. I rented a space off a mate and got to a point that I had a half his shed, and he's like, "Get the fuck out!" You know. Went and got my own, and vastly different with because there's a part of me that wishes I'd gone down that buying machine. I mean, that type of machinery line because I love the one-off stuff. Yeah. I love the sheet metal creating, going like, how the fuck am I going to make that shape? And, I love doing all that sort of stuff. But it's not real great at fucking making money, because the hours that you put into stuff, it becomes mostly like a labor of love versus something that you spend a lot of time on and then you go, okay, that fits that. Now I've got that file and I can just press go and 600 will pop out. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like I never went down that path.
Well, that's exactly why I stopped those fire pits. Because I was doing, when I had like a few designs, it was good, but then I did custom and everyone wanted custom. Charge $80 to draw them a thing. I thought, that's all right. And then it was just too many custom and you can't make money because then it's like, instead of nesting 10 of the one fire pit and having it over 3 sheets and just slamming them up, it's, I got to nest this now, I got to add this. And it's like, you don't make any money. And there's like a lot of guys out there doing custom stuff. Yeah. And they are just not making enough money out of it to grow. All they're doing is making enough to get by of where they are.
Yeah. I think that's where I had that shift too, because I turned this from a hobby which was supposed to be just make enough money to pay the bills, Monday, Tuesday kind of thing, and so I can play. And I never in, what was it, 2017, I've only just in the last few weeks gotten to a point where I'm like, fuck this, I want to start playing again. You know, like it became this business, which is great if that's what you're after. But I'm like, we're 44 this year. You know, like I'm like, I don't want to thrash myself anymore. You know, unless it's, you know, the fun kind of way. You know, I don't want to do that no more. I want to get the bills paid and have fun. Whether that's, if I want to go and play like the bike you saw at the back, whether it's playing with that or camping or fucking doing whatever, doing shit, filming. That's, you know, that's where I want to be at now. Like I want to play with what I enjoy. Because I'm gonna pick you at 32.
Oh, look at all the greys.
Whatever.
No, I'm 38. I'm turning 39 this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, you look young. You look younger.
Yes.
It's you know, you get to that point where you're like I have chased this thing, and I think in my industry of what the stuff that I do, it's only like the elite of the elite that really make a lot of money when they're charging like, you know, like you Chip Foose or back in the day Boyd Connington, or, you know, the guys that have got like enough following that they can charge whatever they want to do what they want, and it's one off, and you can go, well, that's really only about $2,000 worth of work, but they're charging 25 because it's them doing it.
Yep.
You know, like that's like pipe dream shit. Your stuff I love, and I wish I'd gone down that path further when we first started doing it, because I outsource stuff like the snorkels and everything we do. You know, in-house fabrication does all those for us. Shout out to Steve, because he was the first one that really kind of went, just give me a file and let me make you something and see if you like it, you know, which I was like, that's cool. But that put me down that path of, all right, well, we'll get other people to do shit, you know. So it's like, it's not a great way to make money. You know, you sit back and go, I've collaborated this build, I haven't done fuck all, and I made nothing. That's awesome.
That's probably the hard part, right? That's the doing that collaboration thing on the deals. Like, unless you're like a huge four-wheel drive shop where you're getting 40% margins and everything, you know, it's a 30 grand build and you're pulling out 10 grand. You're not. Yeah. You're not making your money, and it makes it harder.
You dead one?
Yeah.
Trying to feed you alcohol.
Thanks, bro.
Bad influence.
Old man will have to give me a lift home, all the way to Ipswich too.
There you go. Shout out to Ipswich.
Yes, the ghetto. Love Ipswich, by the way.
It was fucking Carl Barron. Do you remember that he did a show years and years ago, and he was up here in Brisbane, and he's like, I think he was shitting on a Nala. He might have said Ipswich as well, I don't know. But he's going, oh, yeah, he sounds like he's from Anala. And he goes, yeah, I know where all the shitholes are. And like, yeah, fucking cheeky shit. Yes. Must come to the city and go, right, where's the worst joint around here? Just so he's got it for his act. He fucking nailed it. He's a funny prick.
Old Woodridge and Anala.
Yeah, Woodridge. It was probably Woodridge and
But Woodridge is cleaned up now.
I heard that.
The dude who cuts my hair in Ipswich, right? Absolute legend of a barber, by the way.
Yep.
He lives in Woodridge. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, and he goes, oh, it's nothing like here, because like where his shop is in Bevelle, a lot of junkies and stuff cruise past there, screaming, yelling, carrying on, just in their own little world, which that brings me to a new topic while I'm at it.
Right.
How good is it? I know it's bad, but how good is it? You know when you see junkies cruising the street? Like,
fucking where's this going, all right? Yeah.
They are on a mission. Like, they are on a bloody mission every day. I'm always like, I'm going to follow one day just to understand, like, you know, they just cruise across the road in their own world and
oh yeah,
they're talking to themselves like, yeah, in Fairyland.
A junkie that's fucking Jonesing is the most motivated motherfucker you'll ever meet.
Oh no,
you're like, if you put that into good use, you'd be a fucking millionaire.
Imagine if you put it into a business, how much money you'd make.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say, man. They're out there hustling every day so they can get their hit right.
Yeah.
And they're in Fairyland having the best time ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine if they put that into business. They'd do us all out of business.
They probably would.
Yeah.
They do me out of business. I can't be fucked.
100%. But anyways, I got way sidetracked there. But anyway.
Yeah. Where was
I going? This is
I think I hijacked that.
This is a classic ADHD moment too.
My drama is...
you're talking about your barber.
I'm a barber.
That's right. Yeah, junkies and barbers.
Yes.
And living at Ipswich, and it's not as bad as it was.
So he works at Woodridge. I mean, lives at Woodridge, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know, right, it's nothing like this. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, it's clean as. I'm like, what? Because, yeah, it's like it's all big community now. He goes, expensive houses. I'm like, what? 10 years ago, everyone was just bashing each other, killing each other, and like, it was wild.
It's like a butcher.
Yeah, And then,
Shout out to Caboolture.
yeah, Cabo.
Caboolture South. King Street. Fuck me.
It's wild, eh? But like even where I am, right, where our workshop is, this is a wild story. So I live like where our manufacturing division is.
Yeah.
I actually live in a shed that's on the side of that at the moment, and I've done for like 7 years.
Dude, that sounds fucking perfect. But
Oh,
sorry,
it's
keep
great.
going.
It's like a build the business, right?
Yeah.
It's just a little shit old shed. I don't care. However, when I first moved in there 7 years ago, there's a housing estate across the road.
Yeah.
And it was just full of like low socioeconomic government housing, and so everyone's paying like $140 a week or something to rent there, and the government picks up the rest.
Yeah.
So you can imagine it's just full of crack, full of
Was
just
it all like housing commission and shit?
yeah, but it was different to housing commission. It was like the next level up was some other program they had done, sort of in
Right.
like 2012 or something.
Some kind of like group rent assistance area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it was wild, man. I moved in there and I was like, pardon me, I was like, holy shit, this joint's wild. And then it was all right because they left us alone because we weren't involved in the shit, right?
Yeah.
But then one Sunday night in like I'm going to go 2020, I reckon, or 2021.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping. I've just dozed off, and like at the front of the sheds where I am, behind the roller door of my bed, right, misses me dog sleeping. Bang, 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 bang. I'm like, fuck, rolled out of bed. I'm like, that's a fucking gun.
Yeah.
So I rolled out and like sneaking out, man. Drive-by shooting, boom, 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 dude across the road, shot him in the driveway. I was like, whoa. And then I like that shook me a bit, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I just got a little thin bit of tin between us. And at first I wasn't sure if they're shooting back at each other or what was going on. I'm going, whoa. So as that went by, and about 15 months later, there's a street across from us that goes into the estate. And we're working away, and I'm at the front cutting on the bandsaw. And my missus comes home, and she's like, looking up the road. I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, have a look up there. There's something going on. These guys are holding this dude on the ground. I see people running towels out. I thought, he must get hit by a car. So I grabbed the first aid kit, grabbed me buggy, and I drive down there. No, he'd been shot in the guts like 10 times. And the dude died there. But that one didn't shake me as much because of the first one, right?
The first one being woken up and the shock of all that as well, yeah.
That one I was like, whoa. And before you knew it, now the cops rolled in, lockdown, all this bullshit. But I was just like, there'd been some mad gang fight over, this blew my mind. It was over like some stolen bike. I think it was like $500 for $1,000. Someone stole it from someone else in the estate. Called all these boys from Logan come down. It was like 30 on 30, bats, cars, are running each other over. It was all over Facebook, running each other over, shooting, all sorts of shit. And just like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, whoa. But then, fast forward 12 months from there, all the COVID stuff come in, all that money started pouring in.
Yeah.
And that estate went from a 4x2x2 low brick set house because all those contracts were running out the government.
Yeah.
So people were selling them. So then investors from Sydney were buying. So those houses were like 270, 290. Now they're like 500, 600 grand.
Yeah.
Still the same shithole they were.
Yeah.
They're just gone up to like 500, 600 grand, and now there's none of those problems anymore.
Yeah,
They're all
because
gone.
people can't afford it
Yeah.
and they move on, yeah.
Just like Woodridge. Now it's a nice area.
Wow.
It's wild, man.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Right. It was like,
Bang, 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 bang.
yeah, there was houses getting burnt down in there. There was people breaking in, stabbing each other. Like, it was a nuts area. And it was like, it was next level. And then it just, and like, it didn't affect us, right? Because we got a few acres where our shed's on and that.
Yeah.
So it's like, everyone just left us alone. And like, it's good because if you come over our fence, you got a fair way to run to get to the shed. So it's not as appealing to break in and steal shit.
Yeah.
So we've never really had any dramas. But in that estate directly across the road, it was just chaos. Absolute chaos. Yeah.
That's nuts.
But now it's good. It's like tidy as now. It's clean. Like Ipswich is actually cleaning up, even though I take the piss. There's only some small areas around train stations that are crap. But anything, if you're too far of a walk from a train station, good to go.
Yeah. Look, I think there's a lot of different areas over the years that have been developed and aren't what they used to be. But it's like Tritons. There's always gonna be a bit of shit stirring, and it's like it's low hanging fruit. Ipswich might be fucking $1 million blocks now. I don't know. Still Ipswich.
It's still Ipswich.
It's still gonna stir shit. Ipswich. You can't have been a shit joint for that long and not have thick skin. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it.
Parts of Ipswich are still an absolute shithole.
Yeah.
But parts of it are absolutely awesome. Like there's some really
parts
good
of
areas.
fucking Hamilton. Was it? Hamilton's in a rich area. I'm sure there's parts of Hamilton that have got shitheads.
Yeah,
like drug dealers, are quite happy to spend a bit of money, especially if they're relatively successful. Like
Yeah,
you can get
100%.
wankers anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get wankers that aren't drug dealers. You just, get some people that have got their head too far up their ass and they'll cause problems.
Oh, 100% they do.
Might not walk around with their ass hanging out looking for a fix, but
Yeah,
they
let's
still
call
cause
them Karens.
problems. Well, there's that too.
Always got a problem.
So, all right, so that was a long answer.
That was a...
So you had an idea. You bought.
we
you
got
bought
way
some
off
stuff.
track, didn't we?
did. Rabbit holes, man. Rabbit holes are awesome. I love rabbit holes.
Yes.
Love a good rabbit hole. So you started with the fire pits. That progressed into the concept of the toy haulers, and then when you got your 79, you kind of was like, some of the aftermarket stuff's a bit shit. The way it's been installed is a bit shit. Let's fucking up this game a bit, and now you're doing bits and pieces for everything. So, that's where you come from. Where is it at now? What's your main focus? Like, as far as the brand itself is, what's your sort of focus at the moment?
That is like a hard one now. So the focus now is we're trying to pull and service as many vehicles as we can in that space. So go, righto, these are our core products. So we've got like a 3-stage core product list now.
Yep.
And we're at stage 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. So we basically go get vehicles and we identify vehicles that we think might be a good vehicle to do some parts for, because there is vehicles out there, like you said. Pajeros are a cracking one. Now, sorry, Pajero community, but they're going to hate me. But they are a bloody cracking one.
Basically a Triton wagon.
Correct. That's what they are. But they spend no money.
Yeah.
The reality is, you'll get a few of them. They go, I would, and you might get 10 comments now saying, yeah, I'd buy that. But the reality is, for me to design, so let's say if we're going to design, by me, I mean my team and I.
Yeah.
If we design, let's say a bonnet area, bonnet areas are easy, but let's just say a parcel shelf, right? You can bet your balls that when you design that, sometimes they might be quick and you might be able to nearly use another one. Mm-hmm. And other times you're going to do a full redesign. So if you go on average, every product you release costs you around about the $5,000 mark.
Yep.
So if you're like, I'm going to release 10 products for that, it's 50 grand I've invested into a Pajero.
Yep.
You've then got to sell, to get your 50 grand back, you probably need to sell 200 grand worth.
I was going to say, you'd be at least a quarter in,
yeah.
in what would that be?
Maybe
so,
even more.
Times 4, yeah.
Yeah, by the time you market it, because you're going to find them and all that, you're just like, whoa. And then it's like, can you think of Pajero people are going to buy 200 grand worth of shit?
Well, they're probably not buying a Pajero if they're going to spend that much, money.
That's what I mean. Like, and it's like, Pajero's a good one, or try. Like, I used to have, I've had 2 Tritons.
It's Mitsubishi. Because isn't the Pajero the latest rendition, well, maybe not the latest, but the more kind of latest-ish rendition of the Pajero was a fucking Challenger.
Oh, no, sorry, yeah, I'm thinking about the Triton, just saying, yeah.
Yeah, the Challenger, it was the Challenger was a Triton wagon, and then the Pajero was a wide-bodied, bigger version.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the wide body and went with the fucking Challenger and rebranded it Pajero, because obviously that was worth more money to them than Challenger.
Yeah. But
they basically kept the fucking wagon version of a Triton and just started calling it a Pajero.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
It has
you had
to
a
be.
Triton?
Yeah. He's like, don't even talk to me.
No, and it was a 2-wheel drive one? Yeah. Yeah, it was gay. It was super gay.
Yes.
It was the retarded cousin of your retarded cousin. But it was a good workhorse.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
That's
enough of that.
I guess our main focus now, though.
Yeah, right. Sorry, I did ask a question.
I was trying to think about what we're doing. I got back to it. So it was identify what cars we need to actually do product for.
Yes.
And get them in as quick as we can.
Yep.
So we can get them into the cars. Because, we've done a lot of testing on products originally.
Yep.
Now it's a matter of, if the mount points and everything's the same for some of these products, and you can make it work quickly and easily, you don't need to do years and years of testing. So if you're pulling a parcel shelf from this car to that car, there's a number of things that this is actually a good point here. There's a number of things we look at. So if we're doing side window mollies and we're doing parcel shelves and things like that, just about every car we've had, I've rang up wreckers. So shout out to Sunshine Coast, 4-wheel drive wreckers, absolute legends. I ring them up, like, yo, I need an airbag. Have you got one of these vehicles? They've normally got a smash for me there. Yeah. They go out and they rip the roof airbags, so the side curtain airbags out for me.
Yeah.
And they send them down. And the first thing I do is cut a hole and blow them up in the air compressor. And I stick them up in the roof so I can see where they deploy and how they sit. And then we go ahead and we design our parts. So the new 250 Series Prado probably isn't going to get side window mollies, because the way that airbag comes out, we haven't been able to get one. We found videos because haven't been able to find one smashed yet.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't Barney have one?
Do you smash it?
No, but it won't take long.
Yeah. I can help you. I've got one, but mine's parked in the shed because I'll fuck it too.
There you go. Right.
But the way they come out, right, is they pretty much shoot a whole panel off and they blow out.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that, so what I get concerned about is the other...
Is the impact as it's coming down.
When it comes down, if you have a side window molly there and it runs into it and then it restricts it, if there's not a wall sewing into that and the air can travel forward... Now, I'm not an engineer in the space of, air flow and things like that, but I'm just using some basic... simple idea like physics here looking at it.
Yeah.
The air's got to go somewhere. So it's traveling forward. Now that pocket of air, in my opinion, is going to get bigger and it's going to be harder. So the pressure that your head's going to land into is now going to be more, right? Because this is all split second reaction shit.
You took it. So this is like effectively the cargo area where the six and seven seater.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of these cars now, they're one long airbag. So some previous were like separate ones that would drop down.
Oh, you're talking about like the
side curtain one that comes out
the
of the roof.
The curtain one is a one piece.
Yeah, a lot of them are one piece now. So
that seems really dumb.
Yeah, I know, but they're like Jimny, like Suzuki Jimny, they're all one piece.
But that's because it's 3 foot long from front to back.
The 250 from the videos, it's all one piece. So a lot of them are one piece. And what I worry about is like, it's not, for me, it's not liability. It's if you're driving that car with my product in there,
yeah,
and then you have an accident and that thing breaks your neck and now you're a quadriplegic, or you die from it because our product hindered the airbag and made the airbag blow up a heap harder and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to live with that.
No. Yeah.
I don't want to see you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you got your own moral compass is like, keeping you where you need to be. I get that. From that point of view, I get that.
So that's one of our things. But I don't know how I got that topic. But anyways, I got over there. We were going somewhere. But
I don't know. I asked something.
You asked something. We got into product designs and here we are. But
rabbit holes are great.
They are. They're so good. But I guess our push...
what your focus is.
Yeah, I guess our focus now is... The main focus is to get all the cars done in Australia.
Yeah.
One of the more exciting things I'm doing this year is I'm going to the States. So I'm off again in 28 days to the States.
Yeah, okay.
Mint 400.
Yep.
So we've got a distributor over there. Absolute legends. We're putting a display on in Fremont Street.
Right.
Absolute party precinct, by the way. And so we're doing that. And then basically we are launching, I'm hoping August. And while I'm there again this time, we're getting a 4Runner. So I was there in October and we scanned a Tacoma, the 250 series before it came out here, and a Bronco.
Okay.
So I've got to go back and scan a 4Runner, which I'll do this time.
Yeah.
Then we're going to develop products back here.
Yeah.
Then we're going to send them over. I'm going to try and launch August. I'm also going to send the Jelly Roll over there because what better way to launch the States and take that mad thing over and just run an absolute muck.
Fucking Jelly Roll over there with a couple of pissed Aussies wearing fucking low shirts. Ready?
Let's go.
I got it. Okay. My head's hurting with stuff like this. What is it that stops when you send something over to the States like that? Like, fair enough, the people that you're dealing with, you know them, blah, blah, blah. But in the spirit of why you started this, doesn't that freak you out that you're going to send all this shit over there? And someone's just, I'm just going to pick numbers out of my ass here because it's irrelevant being specific. But someone goes, why are we going to pay $500 for this when we can just fucking scan this thing, reproduce it for $66, send it to China and get it for $1.50 and sell it ourselves and cut you out of the loop? Like, there's so many risks in sending over stuff like that. Like, doesn't that, unless there's something, is it like patents? Is there, No,
I think the word is for this is like brand.
Right.
So it's that brand-driven stuff. So something I've noticed huge about America, I've been over there twice last year, just learning a lot about them. Something I've noticed is they've got brand loyalty. So they're not, something they don't have anymore. So years and years ago, they were chasing cheaper. Yep. They've gone away from that now. With the likes of having guys like Trump in, who are big on manufacturing in that country, they now have this brand loyalty and they're all about, and the patriotism of brand loyalty is all about like, if I like that brand and they're making here in America, or Australian made can sometimes be good, sometimes not.
Yeah.
They're like, boom, that's my brand. And they tell all their buddies and they upload things and they furiously fight on the internet over that brand. Like, no, they're way better. This one's shit. Like they have these huge things, right? So it's like, if you can build that brand loyalty, if someone copies you, they'll tear them down. But the other thing, now I'm not 100% clued up on this, but from what I've been learning, is they've got like over here to IP protect something, right?
Right.
You need to register it before anything ever glimpses on the internet. Before anyone ever glimpses it outside of your office, it needs to be registered.
Yeah.
Then you've got to go pay. It's not too bad. It's like $1,000 a design, right, to pay for that.
Yeah.
And get it certified. Now, you don't have to get it certified straight away. You've just got to get it registered. And then if you have an issue, someone copies it, you certify it, and then you go ahead. However, if you were to go, you know what? My keyring here, this is my keyring. I'm going to IP this.
Yeah.
If someone finds a remotely, keyrings existed forever. So someone just goes on the internet, finds a keyring that has the features that you put IP on.
Yeah.
They're out of it. It means nothing. So in Australia, there's nowhere near as much protection. In America, there seems to be a lot of protection around this keyring's yours. That's yours now. No one's ever using WS again. And you don't really have to pay for that as much. You can just argue it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of protection in America around IP. So like over here, there's a company in Australia. I'm not going to name and shame it because it might get me sued, but I would happily headbutt someone. The thing is, they are blatantly, so I would never come along, grab your keyring and blatantly copy this, right? They will come here, take your keyring, they'll order it online, and they will blatantly copy it as their own. I'm going to say a little bit about it. So they brought my fire pit, right? So our fire pit, it's just a fire pit. It really doesn't matter.
So hang on, set the scene for me. Are they reproducing Pirate Camp Co stuff, or they've copied it and just put a different logo on it?
Oh no, they're reproducing Pirate Camp Co stuff.
Right. So
with a new logo.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. No, I'm still confused. So are they producing stuff and calling it Pirate Camp Co like China sells Nike?
No. They're not going. Okay. So they're not going Okie, same but different, right?
So they took your design, and they've rebranded it and trying to steal it.
Yeah, but it's like if you're. So what I do, right? So there's no secret. So we've got products out there, and the products that other people were doing.
Yeah.
But there's reasons why we did them. One, they were doing a shit job at marketing or a shit job at the way they delivered and handled their customers, right? So we were like, right, well, we can do better.
Yeah.
This is what happens in business, right? You can start something, come up with the greatest product ever.
Yeah.
If you don't patent it or it's not patentable, then you've got to be better than everybody else on the scene. So you need to be louder. You need to be better at packaging.
Yep.
You need to be better at stock, better at delivering. You know, these are all the key things to making something good. So we do a lot of products that other people are already doing. We just put our flair on it.
Yeah.
Our touch on it. But then as I use these products, I was like, oh, some of these are shit. Here's a prime example. Oh, no, I've just got another fucking row. Anyways, here's a prime example. So, we'll get back to these ones in a minute.
Right, we get back to these thieves.
Did you see the drop?
We get back to these other pirates.
No, let's go to the thieves first. We should go to the thieves, these pirates. No, first.
Yes,
so
the fake pirates.
You've got to be doing something better, right? But if you're going to take something that belongs to that somebody, sorry, not belongs, if you're going to take a product that other people are doing, 'cause there's multiple people doing things, right?
Yes.
There's 100 fire pits out there.
Yeah.
Change the bloody thing and make it your own, you know?
Yeah.
Give it your own touch, your own style, your own feeling.
Your own flavour, yeah.
Yeah. And then
personalise it.
Correct. And then that way it becomes your brand, your identity, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. These guys brought my fire pit. They then copied it identically, and they copied it so bloody bad that on the side of the fire pit, can you bring our fire pit up on the screen? You're going to love this.
Go hit up Google, Shawnee. Well, he's got his, the two, we've upgraded. We have two separate screens now.
Oh.
So this doesn't change until he wants it to. It used to sit there and you'd see the searching and all that.
See him looking at midget porn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he is short, but you know. All right. So,
What a shit webpage. Scroll down for a minute. There we go. Get off of there. What are you doing?
What do we do? Are we looking for Google or are we looking for your stuff?
Scroll up. Scroll back. That's at the top. There it is. Click on that. We'll get the image up.
That's a good looking burner.
It's sick. Now it goes, there's a side. See on the side here, you got the skull, right?
Yeah.
Now see the pirate hat.
Yes.
So they've copied this fire pit identical. Now they haven't, except for they've taken my logos out, and on the end here, they left the pirate hat in there like it was an aesthetic, like it was a design feature. So now they've got a fire pit out there with half of my bloody logo in it.
Right.
And I fucking lost it. They were at the Sydney Outdoor Show when we were there, and that's where I seen it. And I was in such...
so they're not doing this subtly.
No, they're doing it to everyone.
Wow.
And they're just getting away with it because the laws in this country suck. And I was like, wow. Like, I'm like, you could have the fire pit because it's just a fucking fire pit, right?
Yeah.
But at least take my logo out of it. Like, that's what got me. My logo is still on the side of it because they did a shit job when they copied it. There's a lot of things they copied that they kind of did a shit job at.
Right.
Now it works. I'm not going to lie, you're going to love this. So in great pirate fashion, a mate of mine who was at the show with us, absolute legend, old Blakey, big shout out to him.
Right.
I was like, bro, we're going to get us one of them fire pits. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, you bought one of the fake ones?
Fuck no. We stole it.
Oh, that's fucking great.
He was like, be back in a minute. We'll pack it up our thing. He ran down there. He's like, yoink, picks it up, comes running back up the aisle with it. Yep, we'll have that. Thanks. Threw it in the trailer. And it's sitting in my workshop now on display.
Oh, that's fucking great. Oh, I love that.
It was so good. And I was like, you know what? Now, look, we've had some Barneys in the past where people have accused us of stealing their stuff and things like that, which wasn't the case.
Right.
But even if I did steal something from it, if I was like, you know, I'm going to steal that keyring, I'm still going to make it my own.
Yeah,
it's a great idea, that keyring, but I'm going to make it my own, right?
Yeah.
It's going to become our own brand identity, not I'm going to keep half of your logo in there and then put my shit on it. Like,
that's just dumb.
Yeah.
That's clearly somebody that's done that is not really thinking about what it is that they're doing.
Correct.
They've just got, oh yeah, that's part of the airflow. But it's like, no, you dickhead. That's a second fucking face to have a logo.
Exactly. And then they went and then they've sent them to China and they get them done in China and they're bringing it back in 1.6 mil stainless, which is like, if you know, you know.
That seems really thin.
It's really thin and it's stainless, so it's going to warp like hell. It's just going to be a piece of shit fire pit. Like, it's no good.
The old
especially in
China
that
powder
design.
coat.
Like, we designed that specifically to suit the material we use.
Yep.
So that's just 3 mil mild steel and you oil it up, right?
Yep.
So we designed it specifically around that material. And the other things we did was like, there's lots of selling features here. So national parks have a rule about your fire needs to be minimum 200 mil off the ground. You've got to have a catch tray, which is off the ground to catch it so you don't burn the grass, start fires, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's got to be contained to a certain size so you can't have these big raging fucking things.
Yeah.
And like, we designed all to that.
Yep.
And I read up on their shit. Half the time they don't even use the catch tray when they do their videos.
Right.
So it's like, they've just missed the whole point of it. But the logo is the crack for me. If they didn't do the logo, like, I even went and seen the bloke. I went up and I had a chat to him and I said, listen, I get it. You've taken my fire pit and you've stolen it.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. I'm like, what do you mean, nah? So, sorry, before I walked in there and a couple of the boys were there like, hey, brother, how you doing, Mr. Pirate? And shaking my hand, they're good. And they're like, what are you up to, bro? So I need to see the boss. Who's in charge? He's, oh, man, over there. And I was like,
so like the normal staff have no idea.
Oh, no, they do. Oh, kind of. They did know that it was my fire pit they copied.
Right.
And he goes, like, oh, man, Rory. He goes, yeah, he's over there. Wait, what do you need to see me about? And I was like, my fire pit that he fucking copied. And he's like, bro, they didn't do it to you, did they? Like,
so this is a running thing.
Yeah. All their products are copied. There's not a single, I doubt there's a single thing they've designed.
God, there's a couple of names I fucking want to drop.
Yeah. Oh, no. And I was like, their entire store, if it's not just cheap Chinese crap, it's all been copied. Like, from big brands. Now, they've copied, I believe someone said they'd copied Animal Off-Road bars. They copied Iron Man stuff and like.
Why the fuck would you copy Iron Man? It's like fucking building a Temu Triton.
Oh,
sorry, Iron Man.
We love you. They buy a lot of stuff from us, so I can't talk.
You know,
but
steroid enhanced logo, but whatever.
Yeah. No, they don't have that anymore.
Oh, don't they?
No,
God, I live under a fucking rock. Really?
No,
when did that change?
They rebranded last year, and they've just got like a real sleeky corporate kind of design. It used to be a little bit rough, you know, the big old Hulk on there and shit.
So now it's got like, a woke.
Exactly.
A woke fucking. It's like Iron
Lady.
No, you can't. Well, you shouldn't even say that. What is it? Iron they.
Iron gender neutral pronoun.
I'm running
something.
an iron they front bar.
Actually, that's a good point. How do they get away with that name in this world?
Who gives a fuck? Oh, fuck. Suck a dick. Good God. We're Pauline Hanson down here. We were talking about this shit. We've actually got another lady coming on, Melinda Richardson. Pretty sure it's Richards. She wrote a book. Fuck me. God, I really should have started drinking before we fucking calm down. She wrote a book called You Can't Say That. Right? It's an anti-woke book. Mm-hmm. We had a good chat on the phone. We were on the phone for probably half an hour the other day talking shit about, you know, this anti-woke and blah, blah, blah. Pauline Hanson was the same. She, you know, obviously she's a very vocal advocate for a lot of good stuff. You know, like her or not, the woman has lived an interesting life and she does make some good points.
100%. And she's from Ipswich.
There you go.
Just saying.
The old fish and chip shop lady. Now, look, you know what? And we went right back because I was interested as to what it was that started. I've already lost where I'm going with this, but I'm going to continue the story.
100%.
We went right the way back because I was interested as to what got her started. I was like, what was your starting point?
Man's feeding them to me.
What? Fuck, you come down here, mate. No, that would have been okay. I was like, fuck, that would have sounded weird. I was going to say, you come down here, you get fed. I was like, that. No, okay, that's all right. That
I'm married, by the way.
There you go. Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
No, that's you. I'll take that. Fucking face is on fire from this afternoon. I wanted to know what got her started. And it was, I think I was talking about the Ipswich, there was a roundabout. And there was some ungodly amount of money that they'd said it was going to cost to put in a fucking roundabout. And she was like, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, basically, fuck off. Like, that can't be that much, and she got involved. That was one of the early catalysts in getting her to get involved. Pardon me. And Melinda, she's very much along the same line. She's not backwards and coming forwards, says what she thinks, you know, and she's written this book, you know, you can't say that. The whole woke stuff, like, I love, because I think I remember where I was going with this. I love how energetic you are, and it's like, you know, like you'll have fun, and it's like, I get that there's part of it's probably a marketing thing, and it's like that's your thing, and you know, Barney was berserker on full drive action, and you know, like everybody's kind of got their thing, but you don't, when you watch you don't look like you're putting anything on. It's just genuine, and I think that's where like Pauline Hanson's had a lot of success, and we get a lot of feedback on it. The genuine message really comes across, and you just look like you're having a fuck lot of fun.
I am.
Yeah, I have no idea where I was going with this, but we'll take that as a new street, a new rabbit hole. But you look like you're having a lot of fun.
Honestly, I'm having a bowl. So the thing is, I got pretty good ADHD. Like it's up there. It's in the elements of pretty wild. So it takes me a while to get it under control. But the one thing I love doing, so this business. So if you spend a weekend with me, you would just be like, whoa, you'll be ready to go to bed, and I'm still just punching on. Like, if you get on the gear, you'll probably keep up. Like, it's another level. There's like 15 squirrels in my head that just run around in circles.
Yeah.
And, like, actually, the other day, I did a video on just a story, right? I was talking shit. I was getting cars ready to go to Morton, and the video, if you go and watch my stories every now and then, and when I'm on there talking, they are classic. That is, like, every day. So, Lockie from Outback Tour, I'm pretty sure it was Lockie. One of the
Is this on your Insta?
Yeah, but it won't be up there now.
Okay.
But one of the boys from Outback Tour, he comments and he's like, I actually want to remember exactly what he said because it was funny.
Right.
And where are we? Outback Tour. Absolute legends as well, by the way.
Shout out to Outback Tour.
Shout out to Outback Tour, Lockie and Christian. And Chris and Mum. They're actually, all of them, the whole team, man. They're actually legends. He goes, I might be able to show you this. Yeah, watch this. Anyway, it's got cut off there.
Hang on, what the fuck?
Yeah, go from there. Oh, no. Is it? Oh, hang on. Wait, let me get it. You fucked it up. What have you done?
Bloody monkey fingers.
Hang on. Here we go. Let's watch this whole thing. And we are going on a content shoot. So we're going to basically shoot a heap of our products over at Morton, have a bit of fun. However, this was the plan. Originally, I was taking that. However, it needs a lift for 35s. I haven't done it yet. I have this shit show going on here, which I've got lots to finish there. Then I got new parts here for the Prado 150, which I might add. I think I went a little bit overboard on the lift. Now, anyways, holy. So, anyways, big shout out to my team. So our team here is bloody unreal. Starting from design, they worked their ring off this week to get.
Which they
see
did.
up here, see the Outback Tour 10 on top. Oh my God, where's my hand there? See it there? Now underneath that is a set of roof rails. Not only did the design team nail that this week and a spicy new product there, also the boys over in manufacturing absolutely smashed it and got. Anyways, that's the one, I think. That's the one you want. Manufacturing as well, absolutely killed it. Yes, I cleaning up the shed.
Oh, the internet down there is so shit.
Ah, we've been let down by Telstra.
And packing up for the Arvo. I get this done.
Ah, we've been let down by Telstra.
And quickly. I get this done. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%
All right.
I give up. Anyways, that one there, I watched it back and it was like...
So you're running around as a typical ADHD bloke with 67 unfinished jobs.
Yes, correct. Yep. And I finished them all in that day. Mm-hmm. And he comments and goes, this was a whirlwind to follow, featuring inside James's brain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I said I had 5 squirrels running around in my brain. He's like, and the rest.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny because like that... Where were we going? Anyways, we get on to it. So that style of ADHD, me, right, is like... I'm always there having a ball, but I always have 6,482 unfinished projects that I need to complete there and then and now.
Yep.
If I come up with an idea, that's got to be done now.
Yeah.
But the number one thing that I do is as I'm talking, I think I've finished the conversation and I start the next thing and I cut half of it out. So you don't hear half of it. Yeah. And then you're like, the fuck did that dude just say? So my design guys, like my design office is chaos at times. So I'll walk in there and I'm like, yeah, where are we at with this? And they're like... we spoke about it 2 hours ago. Yeah, where are we at? And then it's like, 2 hours ago, dude, it's like a 30-hour project.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, is it going to be done today? Like, and then I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then it's like, that's not me, like, beating on them, and they all know me. It's not me like, yeah, hurry up, you bastards. It's just like my brain's
there's an energy to what you do.
Yeah, I'm like, we've done it. Let's go next. And
right there with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I'm downstairs, so we go, our entire warehouse team, by the way, is girls. Right. They pack all the boxes, they finish everything off. It's all girls, and they're absolute legends. My wife runs them, and then a couple of the girls. Yeah, it's pretty good. And
well, you know what they say, women work for less than men or some shit like that. Isn't that the thing?
That was this equality debate.
Equality, yeah. Anyway,
they work for about $5.80 an hour. It's great.
Sweet. Didn't he sound like fuck? You sound like Barney just then. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So your wife runs a full warehouse of women.
Yeah.
Right.
And we basically I'll go down there and just yell and scream, and they're always just like. And everyone yells out, how do you put up with him?
Yeah.
And like, I'll walk around, but like my business and everything I do in life is just fun for me.
Yeah.
If it's not fun, I'm like, see you later, I'm out of here.
Yep.
And I try to portray that with all my guys. Like some people when they first start, pardon me, I'm not it. Yep. I'm not the guy for them. Yep. I've had people come for interviews and just not come back because I am just like, in the interview and they're like, holy shit, and they just don't come back. And I'm whatever. But for me, fun. The entire business is fun. None of it's put on. That's just me having a good time.
Yeah.
There is a bad side to that though, is sometimes I just need some time for me.
Yeah.
Like I just need to be me and just be left the fuck alone, you know what I mean? So sometimes work becomes my escape. I'll go into work on a weekend sometimes when I just need a bit of James time.
Yeah.
I just need to go sit behind my computer, no social media, no people to talk to, bit of music, and I'll just go and work and be like, there's no one to worry about. But then other times I'm like super good, right? And the other thing is my looseness causes a bit of havoc on the internet sometimes.
Yeah. It was one of my questions was gonna be down this track. So yeah, all right, keep going.
And I actually don't give a fuck. I really don't care, right? I don't care the havoc it causes.
No.
Brand wise, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people are out there playing the safe brand, right? They're playing the ARB style corporate pitch where I'm just safe and this is me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fill out all the lines. I'm going to do that. That's not me. I keep my political views out of it.
Yep.
But I go, this is me. I'm here to have fun.
Yep.
Some people go some people lose it. Facebook especially. Like Facebook is like, it's weird. Facebook's great for sales. Like paid marketing Facebook just drives sales in.
Yeah.
However, the people on Facebook, they're just angry. Like they just have problems with everything, and not everyone. I shouldn't say that. It's not everyone, but there's a far bigger majority or minority of people compared to Instagram that just have a problem with everything, and they spend their entire life being negative, and they just want to comment. They want to find a problem to comment on, and it's like when I first started, I used to respond.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like, oh, I'm going to defend myself here. Now I'm just like. I'm just going to roast myself. So now I just reply and be like, yeah, what a dickhead. And just like shit like that. And that's all I do now. I get bad reviews. We just I got one the other day. This was the best. So I got this dude. This is the funny one. Like, okay, fair. I do get stuck into the jelly roll a bit. He must live somewhere. He must live somewhere.
Okay, hang on. We need to frame this a little better for people that don't know what the jelly roll is.
Should we go to Instagram? No.
I bring it up because this motherfucker is at full send. I'm preemptively looking at the screen. Here we go.
Same.
Okay, so there is
Go to Reels. Click on Reels. Oh, just go to that first. No, go to Reels. It's better than that skid. The skid was pretty cool, might add you.
No, keep going down, Shawnee. You got post Reels tagged, so hit Reels.
Yeah.
Full noise.
Scroll down. Keep going. There's a good one there.
I'm pretty sure I know which one to get. Is that the 36.5?
Oh, that one's okay. Keep going down. There's a better one. It's coming. It's coming. It's nearly there. Oh, there it is. 655, bottom left. Click on that one.
There you go. 655,000 views. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, we need sound.
Give us some noise.
Click the noise. Starter again. You've missed the good part.
That's all right. Click at the bottom of that area there, Shawnee. There's a fucking
Little
volumey thing.
right.
There you go. Click that. All right. Now hit it again.
Anti-lag, must have. Patriot camper at the high country behind it. Right, you have to watch the start again now. There's Flogs the Ranger.
Yeah.
Thing's an animal, right?
Yeah. I can't believe you're towing that fucking camper up there.
I did it the whole high country.
Very cool.
So anyways, that is the jelly roll, right?
And I'm guessing you got words like, oh, you're fucking thrashing around the forest for you young prick and whatever else.
Yeah, I get lots of them. But this one dude the other day we got particular. He lives near Pirate HQ somewhere.
Right.
Now we're in an industrial estate, but unfortunately there is some houses along there. The only time I do get up it a bit. The only time I get up it generally is when people come to visit and I take them for a hot lap, right? So,
right.
And then that's generally down the road from the workshop.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of houses. I can only assume he lives there. And I'll go down there and I'll belt it and just feed it to it. And everyone's like, oh my God, they're hanging on and they shit themselves. And it's pretty funny. But occasionally I'll drive it back to the other workshop where I live. And, you know, probably it's hard not to put the foot down because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But I don't go crazy, but I give it a fair bit up to 60.
Yeah.
And anyways, this dude comments, I don't know. But anyways, he must not like cool cars because he comments and he does a bad review on Google and he goes,
He went on Google and gave you a bad review.
Yeah. So this was only a week ago. The car hasn't been on the road in Queensland since October when it went to Perth.
Yep.
Fucked it in Perth. Come back and it's been sitting in G&L Performance ever since, which I need to ring Reese and find out what is going on.
Come on, Reese. Put your fucking finger
Sort it out, Reese.
Jeez, Sean. What the fuck, mate?
Where's the beers, Sean?
Ralph.
Like,
I drink yours, but I don't want to. I've only got a handful of them.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right, yeah, okay.
So then he
bad
comments
review.
and he goes, I can't say anything about the business. However, whoever drives that blue piece of shit Jimny with the brand labelled up the side of it needs to learn how to drive and realise people live here. And I was like,
go suck a dick.
I was like, that's weird. So I just responded with, that's weird. We don't own a blue Jimny. So that's pretty much how I handle my reviews now. If you give me a bad review, if it's warranted, which it's not like, thanks, man. It's not like it's not warranted. Like, all right, maybe he's got pissed off. Come down, have a beer, and talk some shit, and I'll take you for a run in the car, and you'll have a new perspective.
Look, there's so much in that. So,
it's a hard one.
It is a hard one because there's a part of me have you got kids?
No.
Okay. There's a part of me with a 13-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl that is like time and place.
Correct.
But, I've also had, my kids down here when I've, lit the tyres up in the driveway at work and had, my little fella going like, carrying on, whatever else. So I'm like, that's so hard. I think going onto someone's business page and giving a shit review is a bit of a dog act though. Like, okay, you don't like the way that person does something, and fair enough. Go down, talk, say hello. Oh, yeah, man, come on, bro. Can you not? I don't even know what you were doing. Accelerating.
I don't even know what I was doing.
Accelerating up to 60 is like, I'm within the law. How quick I get there is kind of my decision. But, it's not like I went past your house at 160.
Yeah.
Or whatever that would be in American, 100 mile an hour in American. It's not like I flew past your front door. Like, yeah, okay, we enjoy the acceleration. This is the thing. People that bitch and whinge about people having fun accelerating, it's like, it's not about the top speed. It's about that inertia and getting put in your seat. It's fun.
100%. Yeah.
When you're doing 300 Ks an hour, once you're at that speed, your body's at that speed. You're not accelerating anymore.
Yeah.
The 0 to 60 for Americans or 0 to 100 for us is like, that's the fun zone.
Yeah.
But to go on someone's page and give a review, I'd let loose on that. I think I'd be hard on that. We've had
I reckon
some
I need
dumb
to
shit.
clarify it, but so I probably made it sound like I was flogging down the road. So
I didn't get that. Just you.
where we
little acceleration.
go. So where we go, like from the shop there, it's just an industrial street.
Yeah.
There's like, when I say houses, there might be one that we pass maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's there. I think what it is so the car makes a bit of noise and it sounds cool as hell.
Yeah.
However, and I don't mind making that happen. So
at least you're fucking honest.
Yeah, and like to be fair, I ride a Navi to and from work at the moment. Little 110. It's not a step through scooter. You still hop over. It's got no clutch. It just does 70 or something. That's what I ride to and from now because I love anything fast. I'm just an animal, right? However, I know time and place. I still do the speed limits and I don't be an absolute dick.
Yeah.
But I love getting to the speed limit as fast as I can. And it's like, everyone loves that, right? It's just that, it's like, it just is what it is. So I think there's somewhere where I've driven past this guy's house a few times and I've got a few shortcuts through estates and then I take, so I miss all the lights. So I obviously drive past this dude's house and I obviously feed it to it to get it to speed because it's fun, as everyone knows. And somewhere there he's got butt hurt. And it's like, oh, hell, he might have a Jimny and it might be slow as hell. And he's like, God damn, this guy having too much fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like it's something like that. It's not like I'm flying through streets 100 k's an hour.
Maybe he's got a Triton.
He probably does have a Triton. But yeah, like it's not like that's happening. It's like, but he's come up with that. And I'm like, but he's done it 4 months since I've driven it on the road.
I have a problem with that. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm actually getting pissed off for you. Like, that's your business. Mm-hmm. Like, a review on it, I mean, okay, fair enough. If you play the game, like, at some point this is going to change, so I'm learning to let go of it. But for the last 8 years, every one of my every one of my reviews on every platform has been 5-star.
Yep.
And I have gone backwards on jobs to make sure that I didn't even get a 4. You know, at some point there's going to be one in there, and I'll have a cry and I'll get over it. But that's your business. Like, I get the concept of getting butthurt over whether it's a fucking vehicle or someone's driven away you don't like or whatever. People that go onto businesses and give shit reviews and low star ratings and stuff like that, it's like they don't seem to understand in some ways how much impact that can have.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got a bunch of these woke little pricks that go only on 5-star review stuff and they'll only buy something from somewhere that's got bloody all the reviews, and they go onto yours, and because there's been a couple of these wankers and now you've got a 3.8, they go, well, I'm not shopping there. If you've got a handful of those over a handful of months, that could be 10, 20, 150, $500,000 worth of work, because these pricks have got a problem with something that's got nothing to do with your product.
Yeah. Exactly.
That
it's nothing
just,
to do
that
with
annoys me.
Yeah, and it is what it is. But man, I've had competitors give me bad reviews, which I then laugh about, and I'm like, it is what it is. Like, and the way I look at it is this: I'm like, people will then go, they might see, say, 3.8, for example, like you said, and they're like, all right.
I don't know what it is. I was just picking that number.
Correct. Yeah. But what I do is whenever I look at something, because there's certain things that I've done right. I've purchased things, and I'm like, you know, am I making the right decision? I'm going to go look at reviews. So the first thing I do is go, oh, shit, 3.8.
Yeah.
But then just be smart. Click on the reviews, click bad, and read the bad reviews. Because 9 times out of 10, when you read the bad reviews, they're going to be dog shit like that. Yeah. They're not going to be warranted to your work, your quality, and what you're delivering. They're going to be some personal problem or something that doesn't matter and it's irrelevant to what. Because even the competitor who commented, what he said was personal. It wasn't business related. Like if I was going to comment, I'd be smart. You know what I mean? And it's like you've got to, if you're going to go and do it, click on it, read the reviews, read the bad ones. Then you can make an informed decision on what you're getting into before you buy it, right? Yep. And like for us, I'm fortunate enough that because of the way I had the business model, at the start I had a simple motto. The motto was big product, small audience, small product, big audience. So what I wanted to do was create a huge database of people that I could remarket to every time I drop something. So if I had a small product that was 50, 60 bucks, right? And I marketed the hell out of that thing. And we sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them a month, thousands a month. Yeah. I'm getting thousands of customers a month, right? Yep. So then I found this platform where I could actually give people, sends them out text messages once they get, it sends them text messages the whole way, right? And then once they get the product, they've had it for a few days, they get a text message, you know, could you leave us a review? We'd really love it. Then if they don't, it sends them another one and gives them a discount code to go and give a review. So what happens is we've gained we get on average, we're doing at the moment probably 1 to 2 reviews a day minimum.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes more. Some days we get 3 or 4. You know what I mean? So we've really been, we went from having 40 reviews and it looked bad because of a couple of bad ones from dickheads that had a problem with us. Yeah. Now it's 4.9 stars or something because we've got 300 and something, 400 reviews, maybe more. It's just jumps all the time, right? And that's how you wash them out. So people just go, and you get your reviews. I just lost my train of thought then. But anyways, I finished that one.
But yeah, look, and no, okay. On that last part is I get that. You've clearly got. It brings me back to that. To say, I don't have a business. You have a business. You have systems and business and this and that. I have stuff that I love doing, and sometimes I get paid. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Do you know what I mean?
I've been there.
Yeah, but I'm 20. What are we? 8 years into this. I love what I do. I just never really turned it into a company. You know, there are things like around that corner in that lit bay. There's a new model 79, the ugly moped.
Surprise!
Yes.
That one, yeah.
But I've taken a DPF 79 bonnet and grafted it to it. So now it's got the new facelift, whatever, but it's got a DPF 79 bonnet grafted to it. Yes. So it's yeah, okay, if you want to go down that track. Because, look, I got the 80 series out there with a DPF bonnet grafted to it. It doesn't have a fucking top band intercooler. It doesn't matter. It looks awesome.
Still looks sick, right?
Yes.
It's the best bonnet ever done.
That's right. So we did that because I was there's that's a thing. The Chips, Zook.
Legend too.
Yeah. Chip's an awesome bloke. He was the first one to let me play with the Zook bonnet and put a pre-DPF 79 bonnet on that. There is so many things. Barney has been on my back for years going, dude, you need to turn this, you need to produce this stuff. I just don't know how to do it. I love the challenge of the one-off. If I could make something and then go, here you go, mass produce it, that would be me. But that would be where my input would end because I'm as soon as I get my head around something, I'm bored.
Yeah.
That... for those not looking, or those not looking, for those not watching.
They're staring at us.
Yes. I'm pointing to the wall of a heap of shit that I've done in the past. But
heap of cool shit?
Yeah, up on the wall is that airbrushed helmet.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Now, they start as just a black helmet. I literally watched the video one day and I was like, that doesn't look that hard. So I got online, I bought a heap of airbrush and stuff and got some little bits of paint and bits and pieces and had a crack at it. And the ADHD is the same. I'm like that with you. When you get tunnel visioned on something, it's like the world falls away. That's all that exists, and you'll just absorb it. So you probably learn when you've got something that you're really interested in, you'll pick it up real quick.
100%. Yeah.
So I'm exactly the same. My drama is it's like I did that. Now I've got all this airbrushing shit, and I did like the True Fire and bits and pieces like that. But it's like once I've done it, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Well, I know how to do it now. I'm fucking bored. What's next?
Yeah.
That's not a great way to make money.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling, but one of my things I've learned that I love. So I've got 3 businesses, right? Still running. One of the things I love is I love starting a new business and just sending that fucking thing to the moon and working my hardest. But once I get to a point that I set a goal, and I've learned this. So with Pirate, I've kept moving the goalposts. So my other 2 businesses, I set a goal. When I hit that goal, I got bored. Started another business, and off I went again. Hit the goal, got bored, didn't continue to drive it because like I reached what I felt was like all the capacity of that business. Like there's way more capacity in both them businesses, right? But what I found interesting about them, I'd reached and I'm like, it's boring now. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I manage them and run them day to day and get them moving. Now I've got managers, which is really, really good and they're absolute legends. But when I started Pirate, I knew that was a problem. So I went, okay, I know I'm going to push this thing and I'm going to grow this thing all the way to the moon as hard as I can. And I'm going to drop off. I'm going to be like, I'm bored. So what I did was I continually moved the goalposts. Now, if that business isn't running, if it hasn't got chaos happening somewhere, I will be bored. So there's always, and that's when people know that. So we can be running well. Like at the moment, we are running extremely bloody well. And I'm not bored because I've managed to find things I need to do. So what's actually happened to me, this is weird. This is like so weird. So have you ever heard the saying, you need to be working on your business, not in your business?
Absolutely, yep.
For 8 years I've been hearing that. And I'm like, what do these people mean? Like, I couldn't work it out. Like, I couldn't distinguish that line of what that is. In towards the tail end of last year, like last 2 weeks before Chrissy, and then this year coming back, I realised what that was.
It's the same as me. When you get it, you get it.
And it took me 8 years to get it. And now I finally got it, and I'm like, holy shit. So 90% of my day revolves around me talking to people, which I can get on tangents fast, as you know here. He's down rabbit holes, and I'm like, oh, man. And it like, you end up talking 90% of the day to people to try and just get what you need done. But then once they get it, or once I feel like they always get it, but once I feel like they get it, like right now, like as of probably a week ago, it's running better than it's ever bloody run. And it's running good. And I'm like, holy shit, they actually get it. Like everyone gets it now and everyone's working. It's like everyone's trying to get the same common goal. And I'm like, shit. Now I've got it. Now I'm like, what's my next thing? So I've got to go to I've got this calendar called Motion, right? I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
It's an AI generated calendar. So what I do is, and it looks like shit for me if you look at it. It's just got, I throw everything in there, every task, everything I've got to remember. I'm just like, get in there. And then but what I've done is I do it like shit. So it's AI and it prioritizes things. So you can mark it as ASAP, high priority, medium priority, low priority. I mark everything as ASAP. Right. So like the fucking thing is just like everything's in the one day, and it's like I'll say everything's half an hour. I don't actually give it a proper time. So this thing's I got like 3-4 full days.
You have 7 days worth of work to do today.
Exactly. And it's just like, what? And I look at them, I'm like, so then now what I've done is I'm like, I've gone back. So I've been doing that for like 6 months in that calendar and probably ticked fuck all off. So now, like, you know what I mean? But I've added a shitload. And I'm like, oh, man. So now I'm like going back through and I'm like, wow. And these are all things I need to do to work on the business. And I'm like, wow, I can go back through this calendar and I can just like tick all these things off now. And we're getting places. Like 6 months ago, if you'd reached out and said, yo, come on a podcast, I'd be like, yeah. And I probably would have flaked out on you because I would just be too busy doing the wrong things inside of my business. And it's like, it's on the same thing. It's like when you look at what you're going to do with yours, you're like, oh, I can mass produce this. The thing is, what I see, so for me, when I was in that same position, I was like, how do I do it? How you do it is you just go, I'm going to fucking do that and I'm going to sell 300 of them. How do I find customers? The first thing is you can have a business, but if you don't have a customer, you don't have a business. So nothing else matters. The product does not matter. Like it does, but at the start, the product does not matter. If you don't have a business, you don't have if you don't have a customer, you don't have a business.
Yeah, that's I retrospect's a bitch, but it's like looking back through all mine, I can see where I've had the bonnets, the 79 bonnets are the biggest, easiest one to do. That was never meant to be a thing.
Yeah.
Pardon me. The third row up, second in from the right, with the green.
The 80?
Vinyl.
Is that 80?
No, that's a GU Series
G, yeah.
1.
Sorry, Toyota.
That was a pre-DPF 79 bonnet. Now, I'd already done the chop. All that was done. And that bonnet was sitting around. It had a kicked-in front corner. We'd done a replacement for a bloke. And it was just sitting around. I was looking at the front of that car going, it needs something. Pardon me. And as I do, in an afternoon, sitting there looking at shit and drinking beer.
Perfect.
And I was like, looking at the car and looking at the bonnet, and I'm like, I can't fucking make that fit. It was never meant to be a thing. It was just for that car and a freakish leftover second bonnet that had nothing to do with anything. And we posted that, maybe not that photo, but something similar. And that's got sign writing, it's chopped, it's got 4-inch wider fiberglass guards, neg 44s, 35s. Nobody gave a shit about anything. Every comment was the bonnet. And so then that took off. And there's been things over the years where, because 90% of what I do is repeat and referral.
Yeah.
Our new touch, or fresh touch, whatever they call it, customer is maybe 10%. That hasn't had something to do with us or someone in their family or group or whatever that's had something to do with us. It's very, very small. The problem is that over the years I've had all these things where they're big, but then I get bored. And instead of letting that keep on going and putting someone in there to keep that and run with it whilst I move on, I've just let it drop off. And I've gone on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. So it's like, there's a lot of business stuff that I have had massive failure in because I've just chased that thrill, chased that challenge, chased that thing, and not implemented after. It's like, okay, we're getting a great deal of response out of that. Put someone in. I'm like, okay, that's great. What's next? And just let it die off.
Yeah.
So it's a rock and a hard place. You've obviously got a lot of good people around you that have, or yourself. I don't want to take away from your own thing, but it feels like you've got a lot of good people around you where you've done some stuff and someone or some group of people or whatever, family, friends, partner, whatever, has centered you and gone, this is good, we need to work on this, and you go and do your own thing, let us run. And they've implemented things so that business can become like this company and grow and do all the things and you just get to chase the fruit.
I think the one thing with me is, like, I'm a huge sponge, and I think it's, for whatever reason at the moment, my algorithm on Instagram feeds me ADHD stuff, right? So maybe because I'm more open about it now. Before, everyone's like, oh, this dude's so full on. And then now it's like, maybe it's the woke thing. Everyone's like, oh, it's acceptable. I couldn't give a fuck if people accepted me or not, right?
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
But the one thing is that I've learned is that one good side to ADHD, if you can focus on something and go, that's what I'm going to do, you will make that happen. But you also become a huge sponge. So something I am is I'm a massive sponge, right? So I just take in, I'll have conversations with people.
Yeah.
And people will drop lots of different things about business. And that just goes in and just absorbs it all.
Yep.
And then at some point, it could be years down the track, all that pieces of that come together and it finally clicks on something. You're like, oh, that's what I need to do. Like, I had an issue in my business for ages. So for the last probably 2 or 3 years, I am like out of my depth, right? Miles, I'm a busted ass Boilermaker at the end of the day, right? That's what I am. And I'm like, I've had a good time on site. I've run amok. I'm a busted ass Boilermaker. But for the last 2 or 3 years, my business, I was supervisor for a little bit in a job, been leading hand a few times, been a union delegate and run an absolute muck like a peanut. And now I look back, it's funny being on the other side of the fence. We'll go there later. And then I've been out of my depth.
It's like listening to myself talk.
It's good.
I'm getting an appreciation for my lady. Right, yeah.
Oh, fuck. So it's like being that... So I've been out of my depth for I was trying to remember where I was. So I was like, fuck.
As soon as I spoke, I was like, I fucked him. I fucked him because it's like watching me. Right. So you the last couple of years, right? Yep.
Yep. So, fuck. You just fucked me again. Okay. So, where was I? I was like, huge.
Sean's in the
sponge. We got
background
past
just
that.
shaking his head.
He's like, you pair of fucked. So I got past that, and what was I saying?
You're talking about the last few years of. No, I'm lost now. You're being out of your depth.
Out of my
Thank
depth.
you.
We're back.
We're back.
Righto. So for the last few years, I've been out of my depth, right? So we basically, maybe even longer, maybe even 4 years, right? I've basically been flying by the seat of my pants and just winging it.
Yeah.
And just going, and everyone around me is just like, fuck, it's crashing and burning. And I'm like, we got this. And we just flying into fire, right? And we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing is, I work better under stress, chaos, and fucking everything blowing up around me. That is like, if everything was on fire around me, like I'm going well. Like I am cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
Under pressure. If there's any stressful, there could be a car accident, people are dying. I'm just walking over there rapping shit. Like, oh, let's just get that blood sorted, you know. That's just for whatever reason.
Preaching to the choir.
Exactly right. And it's like, I need that to survive. But it's like, we've been doing that, and the people around me are like, whoa. Then what'll happen is I'll spend sleepless nights, just not sleeping, just lying there like, typical ADHD brain. Like, and then finally, it could be weeks, could be months. And then finally it'll hit, and everyone will be there like, fuck, this is fuck, this is no good. And I'll be going, and I'll be there just going, it's got to be simple. There's something. And one of the biggest things I had that was like another feature, it's happened to multiples of times, this was in Pirate, was the whiteboard ran out. So I'm big on whiteboards, right? I put everything on whiteboards. Now, sometimes my whiteboard looks like shit.
Right.
There is just scribbles of mess. It's like that 21 Jump Street movie where old mate just like, done, and walks out and it's just a scribble of shit.
Yeah.
It's what my whiteboard ends up looking like. But
you know what it means.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. But the other whiteboards we run, you know, it's got jobs and things, and we set it up. But what happened was we outgrew the whiteboard with people, with work, things we were doing, and it wasn't working. This in the design area and just organisation of sales and the business and bringing stock in and out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to do something. Now, there's a program called Trello. It's basically a digital whiteboard. So you can automate it and have it as you finish a process, someone hits that checkbox and it jumps into the next side, right? It just keeps moving.
Right.
Someone mentioned it to me like 2 years prior when I first started Pirate. Someone said about, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, we got this. That's the typical response, right? We're getting it done now.
Yep.
Then fast forward to chaos, probably like huge chaos every day. It was like we're trying to release a product a week.
Yeah.
But there is a shit show behind the scenes. Like There is just chaos. There's fires happening. There's blow ups. It's just chaos everywhere. And then one night I'm lying there and I'm like, it just, I don't know, it just hit me. It'd been going on for weeks and weeks, months. And I'm like, and for weeks I've been trying to figure out how do I solve this?
Yeah.
And then bang, it hit me and I'm like, oh shit. Someone told me about Trello and it was like 1 a.m. I'm lying there, not sleeping. And I'm like, holy shit. Someone told me about this software. Let's have a look. So I jumped on my phone. I'm like, and my wife obviously lying beside me. It's like, fuck this guy. And I'm like, even my dog's like, fuck is wrong with you? And I'm there, and I'm like scrolling through, and I'm like, oh, that looks good. Sign up, and I start playing with it. And then that was enough. I went to sleep. Next day, I jumped on. I was like, but then everybody in my organisations, all of them, got emails. Sign up to Trello. We're doing that. And it was like, within an hour. And then like one of my guys is like, don't we want to check it out first, you know, and go over everything and understand it? And I'm just like, yeah, I did. Did it for an hour. Let's go. Yeah. We'll figure it out. And like, you know what I mean? And then sometimes people struggle to work with that, but that solved all our problems. So every problem that we were having at the time didn't solve all of them, but it solved 90% by just finding that software and going, oh, ta-da. And someone said it to me years before. But I'm still, even today, flying by the seat of my pants. I'm saying it's running the best it's ever run, and it is. It's running bloody great. Yeah. However, there's still a lot of things that need fixing and changing it, but I've got it band-aided so it's working. But I'm still flying by the seat of my pants every day, and it's pretty funny, to be honest.
Look, I think there's something to be said for that kind of creative personality that drives people to do more than just, you know, I don't know, work in an office every day or whatever. Like, you know, there's a part of you that you got to be a little bit crazy in some regards to see outside the box, to know that you don't fit in the box. Like I've said for years, it's one of the Bad Boys movies. I think Will Smith said it, and I have just as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Fuck, that's me." And it's my shit always works out sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's just me. I fucking roll with that. It's like doesn't matter what it is, and your partner must be able to be that kind of yin to your yang or whatever. It's like, yeah, you can't, because you can't have, like, my lady's the same. She's like a lot more structure.
Yeah.
You know, because she works, she does like all that work cover stuff. So it's very much analytical. So to her, I'm a fucking psychotic mess. But it's like, you know, there's parts of their personality that's like, Jesus, you calm down a bit. You know, like you're being a bit much. But you're like, but that's what you can't have what you do or what I do or without that little bit of crazy. Because it's what that creativity and, you know, like when you're and I could go down so many rabbit holes with this, but like and I've said this before, when I'm doing a chop, I can sit there and look at it and I will take that thing apart and build it 5 times before I've touched the first bolt. Yeah. You know, you can see it, you absorb it, you tunnel vision on it, like nothing else exists, and you know what you're doing before you start.
100%.
Are you the same with that?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be able to picture it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You've got to be I can picture, so this is where a lot of my problems come from. And one of my good design guys, mate of mine, absolute legend, he's the same. So I can look at something and be like, stand there staring at it, and there's a product we want to do. I'll be looking at the car and I'm like, oh yeah, got it. And it'll just spring to me. And I can, all of a sudden I can picture it. And I'm like, do that there, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but nobody else can. Not like nobody else can, but there's a lot of people who can't. And they're like, I don't get it. And then it becomes this whole process. And then me being me, I've already built it in my head. So I'm like, why is it not here on the car? Because of ADHD. It's like, now. Yeah. And then, and then it just becomes this thing where I get, not like get frustrated and yell at them, but I'm like,
but we don't get why they don't get it. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm like, even a billboard of mine I want it done, right? I was like, not a billboard, a sign out the front of the shed. I'm like, this is my idea for the sign. And I explained it. I was like, bread roll, jelly roll, on an angle like this. And then Pirate Camp Car in the middle, and it has a shadow and then it fades out into the sandy background. Yeah. I pictured that whole thing. Nobody got it. So then I started scribbling it on the board. Nobody still fucking got it. So I gave up. Right. I was just like, I don't care. Yep. Do whatever. Do whatever. And I was like, it's like when we were kids at school, we were drawing shit like that. And I'm like, why does no one get what I'm saying? So I just give up some days. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's like, to be fair, in saying all that, I have a really, really good team.
Yeah.
I lost a few last year. We're in absolute turmoil for a minute, which was pretty fucking funny. I might add. Like, I was just like... And I'm like that. When that comes, people are like, oh, my God. I'm like, thought I couldn't do it without this guy or that one over there. And then they're all gone. You're like, turns out I didn't need them. You know what I mean? And you're just like, and it's absolute turmoil. And everyone's like, what do we do now? And I sit there and I kind of giggle sometimes. I'm like, I get stressed for a minute. Then I get over and I solve it because it's like, it's all the other issues that come with it. Yeah. Then I solve them. It's like, that guy left. Did I get enough info before he left? Oh, shit. There's chaos now because he was dealing with this, so I've got to figure that out. I was like, But it's like, when I get through it, I sit there and I giggle because I'm always like, apparently I could do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've got that. I've said it on here a few times. So for anybody that's heard this, you know, my bad. Sorry. Whatever. But whatever. Eat a dick. By the end of 22, I'd parted ways with all my guys. Some of them deserved to leave. Some of them I wish had things had been different, and some of them need a smack in the mouth.
Fair.
But I left 22, and I was not sure I was coming back in 23. Like, I was fucking broken. But coming back in 23, I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it with me, because I started it. There is nothing that we offer that I don't do. Everybody that has come in here has been, they might have some skills, but it's based around, what we offer is based around what I know how to do. Because I cannot, we nearly brought on mechanical at one point and doing stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not a mechanic. I can't fill that spot if that person disappears, and I've got a customer's car here, so I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. So everything we do is based around my skill set. And when I came back, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. All hell's broken loose. I've gone from 8 to nothing, just me. And it's like everything. I was pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to try and get the podcast going and the show going and this and that. And it's like as soon as everybody was gone, the floodgates opened. It was like the universe was going, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. And even though in my head I'm going, why not? You know, not yet, you know. And I come back and it's like as soon as it was just me, because I was doing the same thing and I was using those words. I was going, I need more staff because I need to work on the business, not in the business. You know, I need to grow this. I need to network that, blah, blah, blah. And it just wasn't working. You know, I had customers with issues coming back because like the staff, some of the guys that were here just didn't give a shit. Mm-hmm. You know, some of them did, and some of them fucking put their effort into it and all that sort of stuff. But when I came back, I was like, right, if I'm doing this, because I heard through the grapevine, Benny won't be able to do it on his own, and that, yes, that's the worst place you can do is put me in a corner.
Ah, yes.
As soon as I'm in a corner, I'm like, right, okay, fuck yeah, all right, let's go. And so I did that first build, and we bought the 80 series. I chopped it, built the canopy. No, sorry, I didn't build the canopy. Built the tray, put the canopy on it, respray, everything else we did to that. My two hands, start to finish, 6 weeks. And I just put it up that it was done. And it was like, I didn't need to send messages and all the other shit. I just put it out there because everybody knew. Everybody that I wanted to know what was going on knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I just put it out there that it was done. And it was just like, I just got to be able to sit back and just go like,
how good?
You know, I still wish I'd taken more of your route and commercialize some of the stuff because it's like, I know that and Barney said it again, you know, there's so many things that I've missed out on. You know, we don't even have an online store. We did like $5,000 worth of merch last year, and that was just people that showed up. I don't sell anything online.
Which is sick.
It's awesome, but it's like, it's at the same time, there's a business part of me that's like, whilst the personal part of me is like, I love what I do. I love the level that I do because I can handle it and I don't need staff. Sean comes down and helps out and runs the screens. But
legend.
Shout out to Shawnee. But there's that part of me that's like, I love what I do. But there's that business part of me that knows just the fucking level that we're not doing. Mm-hmm. Because I have never capitalized on any of it. I just do what I enjoy doing and that's it.
I reckon the thing there is, right, you're saying like you just didn't do it. You're kind of saying like it's over. That isn't the case. Like even though you're 44, this is my favourite
I am
story.
not 44 yet.
Like
we're 44 this year and he's older.
Poor Sean.
1 month.
1 month, fuck.
It's 1 month and 2 days.
But even though you're like, oh man, it's fucking like, you're coming across like it's over, like you're done and dusted. I don't know if you've ever heard the Colonel Sanders story. You ever heard that one?
Oh God, I feel like I have, but I don't remember it. So
the man
hit me with
spent this. Things like this always resonate with me, right?
I'm having a cigar. Do you want a cigar?
I don't actually smoke, to be honest.
That's cool.
But I'm keen to watch you have a cigar.
You're gonna watch me have a cigar.
Yeah, I'm gonna like have my hand under here. But
I need some pirate gear.
fuck, I didn't even bring any stickers down. I should have brought some down, to be honest.
Rough. G'day, legends. To help support the brands and support us, get onto our website and check out who we've chosen to partner with. For everything custom 4x4 and accessories, visit wildsidegarage.com. While you're there, don't forget to check the links for the discount section, where you can get 10% off brands like Carbon Off-Road, MAXTRAX, and In-House Fabrication. Remember to like and subscribe to help us grow the channel and bring you even more from Wildside. Well, I tell you what, I feel really bad. I did a God, what was it? It was a green and black Amarok. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't green and black when I started, but it was green and black when I was finished. But the guy that I did the Amarok for dropped me off the bare bone. He was like, thanks heaps, like, looks awesome, blah, blah, blah. I've never opened it.
Oh, I was just thinking that.
I've never opened it. It's, fuck it, like, I'll do it now. In honor of an Amarok.
Yeah, therefore I am a rock.
Or at least it's not a Triton.
How ugly is the new Triton, by the way?
Oh, that grill.
That MV Triton, it is so ugly. When my mate works at the car yard down the road, we had one on order. He brought it around, and I was like, you can take that back and cancel my order. He was like, what? I was like, no way anyone's buying them. And I still haven't seen that many on the road.
I've seen more than I care to see.
Yeah, one is too many.
Yeah, that I don't know what they did with that grill.
Look at it. Oh, my God.
No. Fuck the one with the bar. Go across. To the right.
Look at that. Look at that thing.
To the right. Click it. No, make it bigger. Yeah, hit visit. Fuck it. We'll probably get pop-ups.
Look at that.
Look at that. That's like a Tron.
I'm gonna say it. That's what my competitor stuff looks like.
Fucking
too many beers. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I do get along with
you. Didn't drop names. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair.
You know what? There has been plenty of times where we have talk shit on here and go, look, not mentioning any names.
But fuckface over there.
No. I won't drop a name. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, I was like getting all excited. I thought it was a cork. No, what happened? That grill is fucking horrid.
Isn't it? The whole front end is like, that is. But to be fair, that is still not as anticlimactic as the Kia, as that fucking Tasman. The Kia.
Hang on. To the Kia.
Have you not seen the Kia Tasman?
I feel like I should be offended, and I don't know why.
So they dropped photos, right, of this thing, and they were like,
that's about a shot.
This thing is going to be like the next best thing. It looked awesome. It was big. It's beefy. It looked like it would have run the Ranger out of business, right? Then they bloody...
Right.
It looked awesome. Maybe it would have run the Ranger out. So, and then they dropped this pile of shit. Look at it. Look. What is that? This thing they originally teased.
Wow.
See on the right there, that blue one?
Yeah.
That was the original idea.
So that's
on the left is what they came out with.
Doesn't they? What is it? What's Ruben dealing with up at DMW at the moment? He's doing a heap of shit. It kind of looks the Ineos.
I'm not a fan of them neither.
It's like it's kind of in that kind of like if you look at don't move, Sean. If you look at the front of the front door and the back of the rear door, that section in there looks MP300.
Yeah.
Right?
Even the roof rails a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, roof rails are roof rails, but like the kick up in the door, the big handles, I mean, maybe not the big handles, but it's like, but then that grill and the outer headlights screams 10, 15 years ago, fucking F-truck. Doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. But then if you go back, Sean, to the other screen we on the search, I go up top left tab. And then see that blue one. That is what they teased as they were going to drop as a ute. Look at that. Look at that. See, it says game changer. That would have been a game changer. It would have been awesome.
That
was their teaser.
Rendering.
Yeah. But see how good that looked?
That actually does look... But you know what? There's a big chunk of the side of that thing screams the current Triton.
Yeah, fair. It does actually at the rear.
But like, I love the grills because the Kias have had that kind of grill through everything for a while.
Yeah. But then they dropped that piece of shit.
That skinny light, the skinny headlight, and the side of that scream Triton.
Yeah, but it still looks good, right? Maybe not a Ranger killer, but it still looked good and it was going to have this crazy cool motor. And then you go to the other one and it was just a pile of shit. Like it was the biggest... Look at it.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the Temu version.
It is Temu.
It's the fucking Temu version.
That was probably the most anticlimactic thing of 2024. And the next anticlimactic thing was that new Triton. They were probably the two most anticlimactic things I've seen last year.
I'll tell you what was anticlimactic. Hang on, I'm going to test this first before I say it.
Maybe that vodka.
No, that's actually pretty good.
We're on.
I'm a pretty big fan of The Rock.
The
Dwayne Johnson.
actor, yeah.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, he's good.
Have you tried his tequila?
Nah, not yet.
It tastes like fucking metho.
Oh, no.
I poured one glass. I love that motherfucker. He has
Legend.
I love some of the standards that he sets for his fans and how much he will engage with them. I love the respect that he gives them for the fact that they are the reason that he's got a job in the first place.
Yeah, 100%.
I love a lot about what he does. Him and Kevin Hart are brilliant. Him and fucking Ryan Reynolds are at least as good.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Ryan's a fucking nut job. I love that guy.
He's got to be the best actor, I reckon.
He is.
Fuck, he's good.
He's one of those guys that just... Robert Downey Jr. does it as well. It's like they are just them.
Yeah. I reckon he
In
just
a
goes
role.
off script, right? I reckon it's just like, here's your script, and he's like, and just goes off script, and then everyone's like, fuck, we're going to try and catch this now.
But it's the speed. Well, I think Jim Carrey was the same. There was a movie that... I don't know how I can't even remember what the movie was, but I think it was being directed by Clint Eastwood. And Jim Carrey was like, reenacting the conversation about how, because Jim Carrey just carries on how Jim Carrey carries on.
Yeah.
And Clint Eastwood is very famous for the fact that he doesn't like doing multiple takes. So Jim Carrey is doing his whole thing where he's on a run, and Clint Eastwood, instead of stopping it, just goes, like, maybe we'll just leave him go and, sort of see where it ends up kind of thing. Whatever, paraphrasing. But there's a few people in the industry that stand out. I love The Rock. And I thought, this guy doesn't just put his name to anything. The clothing stuff, the training stuff, everything. Maybe it was my own kind of thing when you like when you see a preview for a movie, you're expecting it to be amazing because of the cast and this and that, and all of a sudden you get there and it's like, what a fucking letdown.
Yeah. I reckon...
That was fucking terrible. The Terramana, fuck Terramana. It's horrible. It tastes like metho. It was that bad. I had to say to my lady, just smell this. I didn't know what it was. It was that bad. I didn't know what it was. Like, there is something wrong with this. She's like, Jesus Christ. It smells like metho. It was fucking horrible.
That actually surprises me. Like, I thought it'd be quite a lot better than that. But maybe he likes the taste of metho. You don't know.
Fucking leave that alone. There is several levels of joke in there that we're just not going to touch.
Nope. But anyways, back on the KFC thing, right? Let's finish that, bro.
Fuck what? Oh, KFC, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Colonel Sanders.
Sorry, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, so let's. Now you got your headphones back on. So
my headphones.
Earphones, whatever it is on your head. So
well, I start dishing up the waters. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I'm Ubering. Just to clarify, don't drink and drive.
So
all right, KFC.
Yeah, so when we were talking before, right? It's like when you were talking to me, you were like, it was coming across like, I could have, but I didn't, and it's over.
Right.
Colonel Sanders, he tried and tried and tried. I don't know how accurate some of the story is. However, the stories that I've read, he tried and tried and tried, kept failing. He was like 77, 78, something like that. In his 70s, he was all but ready to neck himself, and he was like, fuck, I'm going to make this chicken for me neighbour, whoever this girl was.
Are you being funny, or is this is serious?
This is serious.
Right,
Bring
okay.
it up. Let's just go and see if it's accurate on that suicide thing, but a couple of stories I read always brought that up.
Okay.
Now, the guy went and made this bloody chicken for the lady, whoever it was. She's like, oh my God, this is awesome. You should make this and turn it to a business. And he's like, it's not something he'd never done before. And he's like, I've tried so many times, I failed. Like, and she talked him pretty much off the ledge, like, go and give it a go. And he was 70. He was in his 70s, right? He'd had enough. And he went and become the biggest thing today for chicken. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? And that's my philosophy I always look at. I'm like, you only fail when you give up. The business can fail. Like, I've had a failed business in the past, right? It cost me a stack of money. Hence, I sold my house. I moved into a shed in the back of my missus' parents' house. Started this business with fuck all because I got it wrong. And I just started a business, was like, yeah, let's go. But for me, that put me in the trajectory to now because I started that business with not enough money to what I needed to do, and then I couldn't do enough stock, and I couldn't just do what I needed to do, and I went broke. It didn't work. It's not like I went broke and owed people money.
Yeah.
It just didn't work, so I shut the thing down.
Yeah.
Tried to stop when I could, and I still lost a stack of money, but I didn't hurt anyone in the process, which was good.
Yeah.
And then I learned from that, and I am where I am today. But it's like, even if this one fails, there'll be another. You know what I mean? Just keep trying. You always just keep trying. One day you'll probably make it.
Look, I agree, and I don't want it to come across like, you know, I'm sort of at the end of my run and I'm giving up. Like, it's just that I'm aware of. It's kind of like, I don't know if we've spoken about this on here before, but we filmed Craig Carr, who is a business coach and whatever else, and he at the time he was doing some work with Evercool, all right, and I was going to say, like, it's late 2019, early 2020, somewhere in there, we filmed the first episode of this.
Oh, it's been going that long.
No, this is the thing.
Ah, okay, yeah.
All hell broke loose with COVID, and when I was going through the edit to get rid of stuff that now wasn't happening, like the four-wheel drive show and this and that, we cut it down so that it made sense to get rid of stuff that now wasn't happening. And it was like, it's too segmented, fuck it, we'll stop. So I'm not saying that it's over. I'm just aware of certain things have a run.
Yeah.
Online content, if I'd have done what I wanted to do at the time, which was go, fuck it, that didn't work, let's film another one and run with the times, everybody was like, no, nobody will come down, nobody will film, everyone's wearing masks, this, that, and whatever else. And I was like, who gives a shit? Like, I never, even though we didn't film, I never shut the shop one day. Like, we just kept going. But everyone was like, no, nobody will come down, nobody will film, people will worry about this, that, whatever else. So I was like, and I listened to everybody. So it's just that I'm aware that certain things have runs.
Yeah, fair.
And the production of stuff, it's like, there's not really that much stuff that's out there at the moment that you can't go and either, whether it's like the fucking Deadpool behind you.
Well,
you know, like,
the best. I'm taking it home.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
There's a dude that did that, and he sent it over to me, and he's like, "Oh, he stick a wild side hat on it, and, you know, give us a shout out." And I was like, "Fucking sweet!" So I took a photo of it because it's just awesome, and I love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, 100%.
But he's got what did I show you earlier? What's he doing now? The Terminator, with like half his face missing, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's sick."
Yes.
But I'm like, What did he
make that?
He made it. That's all 3D printed, and he airbrushes it and paints it.
That's sick.
It's what's the? Where's my phone? Don't worry. Go on Instagram. I can't think. Don't bring it up on the screen, Shawnee. But go into my Instagram page, and then bring it up on the screen. The post, because it tells people where he is. Because I can't for the fucking life of me remember the name. But it's like that in amongst everything else. It's like I'm just acutely aware that things have a run, and it's like putting content out now, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, but putting content out now, I'm acutely aware that the content flood has happened. You know, so when we put something out over the last 3 or 4 years, you could post something and it would get 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever, 1,000 views and interactions and this and that. Now it's like a tenth of that. Now you've got to be like the 1.1.
Yeah.
You know, to get it. And it's like you watch the flow of things, and it was Facebook, and then it was Instagram, and now it's TikTok, and you know what I mean? It's like you watch all those things and you look back and go, I'm not saying that it's over, because I'm focusing everything on, did you find it? Yeah, what's it called? Bring it up. For anybody that's watching, they can see it and we'll read it out. Yeah, I did the video with the audio because I was like I love watching Rogan and everything else. And here we go. Yes. What is he? Immaculate_3D Designs.
I'm giving him a follow because I want to.
Dude, he doesn't. He's so niche that he doesn't have a social media presence. It's very, very minimal. But like looking at, I mean, that for whatever reason on the screen looks a lot lighter red than what it is in real life. But he's fucking. Yeah. He's just. he's a talented fucker. And the next one that goes up there will be fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger missing half his face wearing a wild side hat.
You weren't wrong about the followers.
It's nothing. What has he got? Like 40?
8 now.
8. There you go. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Dude, he's totally niche and word of mouth. And the stuff in his, I went over to his house because when he reached out and we spoke and all that sort of stuff, I was like, yeah, if I will come over and have a chat. He's in Brizzy, South Brizzy.
Yeah.
The stuff that he has got, that he has done, and what he's got is just examples of stuff that he's done for everybody else. It's fucking nuts.
The Deadpool is the best one. Like, he's got some good ones there, but the Deadpool is...
But Deadpool's awesome.
The Deadpool's where it's at, eh? That's sick.
Isn't it cool?
After a Catwoman.
You met what?
Catwoman.
Okay, all right, but
Michelle
which?
Pfeiffer Catwoman.
Okay, fair enough. Halle Berry's cute, but Michelle Pfeiffer just owned it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
He did actually ask me about Batman because Blake, my son, is just a Batman fiend. And I was like, well, Michael Keaton's the OG, but Ben Affleck did it best. I don't care. I'll argue it all night. Fuck, shit, bad host. Sorry, mate.
No, yeah, I got it, man. I got it. I shouldn't even wipe that off. The carpet's good.
What, that's literally why I put it there. I was like,
sick.
just roll
Seeing
it
you
off.
do it, no, it's so good. But I think what you're saying
It's marine
before,
carpet too.
like you are right. Everything has run its course and does run its course.
It's just working out what's next.
It's working out what's next. It's working out how to harness what's there. And you got to remember Meta, right? So Meta, which is Facebook, owns Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yep, and Threads.
And Threads, which is...
Pretty sure it's Threads.
Does anyone use Threads? Like
I linked it. I'm like, when I post here, it goes there. It's fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, like it's exactly. I've got a heap of followers on there, and I'm like, I don't even post on there. I got on there the other day because it said share this to Threads. And I'm like, oh, that's right. So I got on, and I've got like 15,000. I'm like, how? I don't post, but it's like all your Instagram stuff goes there.
Yeah, but you've had a lot of growth though. But I think that's your energy.
Yeah, agreed. Now, early in the days of my energy too, pardon me, I had people comment and were like, oh, like your products are sick, but man, I can't stand you. And I used to laugh right now. The biggest thing here is in a time when, here's a cracking example, right? So in a time when everyone's like, it ain't weak to speak and they carry on and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
They all are quick to tear somebody down. Now, for me, water off a duck's back, right? Means nothing.
Yep.
I seen a story like months ago. Sam Young, right? He paints his fingernails. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Some dude got on there and was just like roasting him in his inbox about being gay or whatever, you know what I mean? The man just had a kid, but was just roasting him, right? And he got on there and done a story and he's like, this dude that was roasting him, he had stickers everywhere. It ain't weak to speak, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's out fucking tearing somebody down because they paint their fingernails. Now, we did have the woke thing before, but regardless, dude just paints his fingernails. So fucking what? Does it affect you? No. And it's like, and the same thing was with me at the start. People were like, some people couldn't handle the energy, but I've had that my whole life, right? So I could be on a job somewhere, on a bus, whatever. People just can't stand the energy. And they're like, and they might be vocal about it. It is what it is. I can't change it. Like, I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. And when people comment, I laugh and I'll be like, whatever, fucking, and I just give them a bit of shit back or whatever.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll get over it and be like, oh, actually, this dude's probably not too bad. But now I've got more of an influx of people who absolutely love us, or myself and whatever.
Yep.
And a handful of people that are like, oh, fuck, this dude's irritating. And it's like, and that's what they were commenting, right? I find you insanely irritating. And I'm like, really? 100%. Like, it's on one of my early ones. But it's like, this dude's like, man, I absolutely love the products, but I find you insanely irritating. And for a minute there, that had me going, am I making the right move with me being on camera? Even though, I'd been volunteering at the Ipswich show for years, doing videos on their social media and getting in front of the crowd, doing dumb shit, dressed up like a clown. Not like a clown, but I had like a mullet on and like overalls and bloody fucking flanny and shit. And they called me Farmer Joe. And I'd just run around and interview people. What's your favourite thing about the show? You know what I mean? I'm just screaming, yelling at him, and just be energetic. And like that went well. So I was like, man, the people around me, right, were like, no, you are right. You're insane. You're a fucking madman. But you are right to be in front of that camera. Fuck that guy. And then as time went on, I just kept persevering. I was like, you know what? Fuck them guys. And I'd be like, doesn't matter what they say. And I'd just give them a little poke back. Or I'd laugh about it. Be like, imagine living with me. You know what I mean? I'd just do shit like that back to them. then as time went on, I grew and got better. I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. But I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just one of them, you know what I mean? I was like, and that's the funny thing about these days with people.
I think good on you for taking ownership. Like I love it. Like I referenced Rogan a lot because obviously that's what inspired all of this. But
Yeah, he's awesome. But you're better. But no.
yeah, the check's in the mail.
Love you, Joe.
No, it's like he says all the time, don't read the comments. Oh, fuck, I love it.
Yeah, it's accurate.
I don't care. Like I'm kind of like when there's comments, some people like thrive on the good and they get fucking depressed by the negative. And I'm like, the good comes in and I'm like, cheers, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And the negative comes in, I'm like, I see you poor cunt. Like, is that your shit is that bad that you got to fucking rag on me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get hyperactively good from the good, and I don't get real depressed from the bad. I'm like, I just kind of float around. We were talking about this with travel as well, going over to places that are like, you know, not normal Western. Well, I say normal, whatever, Western culture. I float in 60-40. Like I don't want to go in the full deep dive of someone's culture, and I don't want to be just stuck in a fucking hotel room. I float 60-40. I'm like safe zone.
Yeah.
And I'm like that with the negative too. Like it's like you could be like praising the shit out of me. I'm like, cheers. You could be like, that's not bad, bro. And I'm like, cheers. You could be, not my thing. And I'm like, all good, bro. And you could be like, you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, all good, bro. Like I just float in 60-40. You know what I mean? Because we had one, we were talking about the size of tires and people tearing up trucks. And it was just a generic, because I had Clayton from Method, Barney Legend X, Jamie Hazelden, and we were just having a group chinwag. And part of one of the shorts was about, you know, tire size and tearing up trucks and blah, blah, blah. And someone commented, sounds like a bunch of old pricks having a whinge, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bunch of old pricks having a whinge, and it was like, whatever. And I saw that, and I was like, all that stood out to me was old pricks. So I just had a giggle, and I was like, I've been called worse.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, I don't doubt it. And I love-hearted it, because I'm like, you sad cunt.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is, and I don't know if he was having a dig or whatever. I just don't care.
I just don't give a fuck.
I float 60-40.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I love that you didn't back down from you just being you.
Yeah.
You know, and we get it. We've had it where the mental health stuff, where people have said and messaged and stuff like, we love the fact that you guys are talking about mental health like blokes. You're not fucking cotton wool in it, and it's all marshmallows, and it's not the weak to speak.
Oh,
it's like, you know, and I say it to him, I say it to everybody. It's like, oi cunt, need to chat.
Yeah.
Gotta bounce some shit off you. It doesn't have to be this weak as piss kind of stuff. It's like, it's just guys talking shit. And every now and then you need to bounce some stuff off a mate. Yeah. And you've stayed true to you. I love that you don't give a fuck. I love that you just don't care whether they rag on you or not. You own it, you run with it. I think that's awesome.
Dude, to be honest, like on mental health thing, so I had a huge run with mental health years ago, and it was wild. So like my mum, for example, she still battles mental health, and it's a bit of a soft point for me. When I was 2014, I think it was, I was working at a job at Barrow Island, which is on the west coast of Australia, off of Western Australia.
At what island?
Barrow Island.
Barrow, right.
Yeah. So I was basically doing an LNG plant, so a liquid gas plant, and we were there. That place was wild, man. Like it was the camp there was built off of, I think it was not a Bolivian, because they got shit prisons. It was off of a prison in South America maybe, and basically it had like a wing set up, and you could just walk through every single one. So traditionally in a camp on a mine site or a construction job, you'd walk outside, and then there'd be like 4 rooms and a donga, and people would be out there having beers. You'd talk to them, hey man, how you doing? There'd be a little veranda and shit. It was a little bit welcoming. On this job, it was just, you walk into this little skinny, white lit corridor, no one out the front. It was just like walking, literally like you're in a prison or something, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just like, and they'd conditioned you to this like weird mindset. Like a lot of people, normally in a job, you walk past, hey man, how you doing? Morning. Like everyone's just like, hey. That job was different. People were like that to a point, but the morale just wasn't there anymore. The whole, like that job created so many suicides, right? That there was so many there.
Wow.
And it was wild, man, that job. And when I was there, I also...
Is it like the environment or the work or just everything?
The environment, bro, like the camp. Because you remember, you're there for 28 days. So you fly to that island, you ain't fucking leaving for 28 days unless you come up with a good excuse. You're there.
28 days seems like a shit number to pick, like with that movie. That was a movie about that, wasn't it?
28 hours, 128 hours. He cut his arm off. Is that the one?
I remember 28 days. It's like it was a bad movie. It's like it's like going like calling your business Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
like, you know.
Actually, it was 26 days you were there. To be fair, 26.
That's better. Okay, well, you know what? That's better.
Yeah.
Wait, Shawnee, you want to hit that fucking the thing? Open it up. Get some air in here. I'm smoking this and I'm feeling suffocated. All right, so 26 days and there's people like really like not dealing with it well.
No, because it's like the problem is there too when they put like a phone tower in. You got to call home. If everyone's just got home from work, you can't make a call out because there's too many people on the phone thing. So you've got like they're meant to only have like I think it was like I can't remember exact numbers now, but I think it was like 3,000 people on the camp, right?
Right.
So then the phone tower must have been put in to suit 3,000 people there.
Right.
But then when they decided like, oh, we need more people to build this in a more efficient time, they decided that you didn't get your own room anymore. You got the motel in one, not motel, there was already motelling there, which is basically when you leave after your 26 days, throw your shit in a container. When you come back, you get a new room, you drag it all out, set up again, whatever. Then the other one was called fly camp. So what you did was, there was night shift, day shift. So if you're on day shift, you had to leave your room by 5:30 in the morning. Night shift to come home, he'd go in that room. There'd be bunks in there and he'd sleep on the top bunk or bottom bunk, whatever.
Yeah.
And away they go. I think day shift was bottom bunk, night shift was top bunk, whatever it was.
Oh, so they're full room share, like the whole...
the whole works, bro.
Yeah.
And that there was like that job. So then they increased and they had like 5,000 people or something on the island for that job at any one time. So now the phone situation was no good. You try to make a phone call, just cuts out, bap, bap. You get like 30, you might get 3 or 4 minutes and then you'd line a drop and then it would just, you just couldn't have a conversation with home and it was chaos. You couldn't get internet reception. Dude, you couldn't even get on Pornhub and have a beat off. Like the internet was that shit.
The fucking necessities.
I know, right?
Right.
So you got to use your imagination like you're 16 again. Before internet existed. Like,
Jesus fucking Christ.
so anyways.
The Playboy collector cards.
Exactly,
Yep.
right? And it was, but at this stage there was no print media anymore, so it was all digital. But you couldn't get onto digital. See, there's problems, but they weren't the problem. The root causes. So, anyways, that job it just drove this culture of people that, where they were just struggling, and it was like not everyone, but some, right? But the problem is, if you've never been to rock bottom, you don't know. Running stickers that say, it ain't weak to speak. You just don't, like you haven't been there, you don't know.
Yeah.
When you find, like I found rock bottom and like I'm talking, like I used to box, back then I was boxing, right? I was fighting in the ring, I was having a great time and I fucking loved it.
Right.
However, that was one of the things that sort of helped me out a lot. However, I was sort of coming out at the tail end of it then. I was still fighting then, but I was sort of coming out of it a bit then. But that was fine, but like that was where my mental health stayed strong because I'd go to the gym and I'd run and do all this shit. It was the downtime in the room, man. You get this little tiny ass fucking room, downtime. You couldn't do anything else, 26 days.
Yep.
And when I found rock bottom, I fucking found it. And I found it hard, right? When I hit it, I was like, and it was only months before. So my first business that failed. So I started when I was there and it was actually an aquarium store, right? And I had this dude who was a customer of ours and he rang up one day. I can't remember why he rang. I think he rang because he was trying to get rid of some fish tanks or something because he was moving house or something. And I knew he had broke up with his missus and he was on the phone. He was just a little bit rough. Like I could hear it in him and I'm like, dude, are you all right? Yep. This is my landline that people are ringing to try and buy shit and stuff. And he's like, and then he just broke down and started crying. And I was like, all right, cool. So back to the ADHD thing, we empathise with people.
Yep.
So we're very big on empathy and we can fucking manage things in chaos, right?
Yep.
So I was like, all right, cool. This is no good for this guy. I sat there for 45 minutes on the phone. I reckon he cried for 15.
Yeah.
And then he talked to me. And then I remember saying to the dude, I was like, dude, like he was like, dude, I am done. I'm going to go and fucking kill myself. I've had enough. He goes, I've tried twice. I've failed. He goes, but I'm done. I was like, dude, let me give you a red hot fucking tip here. Like, if that is where you are, life cannot get any worse.
Yep.
Like, life cannot get any worse than what it is now. If you're going to neck yourself, that's it. You ain't coming back. You're not, like, maybe there is heaven. Who fucking knows? But there probably isn't. There's nothing else after this. You are not coming back. Like, that is rock bottom for you. And he was like, yeah, I know. And then when I got off the phone, I felt confident that he was probably not going to do it. He rang me up at the shop 5 months later, I reckon. 5 months? No, it might have even been a year later. I think he rang or he messaged. Maybe 5 months later, something like that. And he said, dude, and he reached out and he proper thanked me. He goes, if I didn't speak to you that day, he goes, I wouldn't be here now. He goes, I just needed someone to listen and not judge me and actually be like, he goes, I was going to psychologists and they did not give a fuck. And he's like, it took your time and you could have been selling shit and you helped me out. Fast forward 12 months, I found rock bottom. And when I hit it, I didn't understand it at first. Like, I was angry. I was like, fuck, I'd be missing me on the phone. I'll just fucking lose it on the phone. Like, fuck, get off the phone. And then I'd be at work and I'd lose it to people. I punched one of my supervisors on a scaffold. Well, I shirt grabbed him and shit. And it was like, I ended up losing this job, right? But before I lost it, I was doing all sorts of things. I was put back from night shift to day shift. All these things went on. And I just was getting out of control. And I was losing it fast with people. My temper was short. And I'm like, I don't get it. And then one day I remember I went up on the scaffold. I was just losing it. I went up on a scaffold and I sat on this scaffold in this pipe rack for like a solid hour or 2 hours in like 45-degree heat. Just sat there and stared out at nothing. Just no idea what I was doing. My brain was just fucking and I was like, and my feelings were wild. And I was like, oh, this is wild. Then I go back to my room and I remember that night, go back to my room and I locked myself in my room and I just like fucking losing it, trashing, like just like all this, I don't know where it comes, all anger and feelings that I couldn't understand. Then I go for a walk around. They had like the ring road in that camp. It was literally
There's
like
something in you that you just, like us as men, physically have to get out.
Yeah, and
it's like, you don't know what it is, but it's like it's got to come out.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't come out, right? And I'm like, I don't get this. And then finally, after a few weeks, I was like, fuck, I'm at rock bottom. Because like I was like, my world of feelings were like next level. Like they could not get any worse. And I was like, the feeling of that, it was uncontrollable. It was fucking like, it was just next level. I was unhappy. I was like, and there's all these things. And back then I used to worry about what you would think, what he would think, what someone over there would think, what the internet might think, you know, what that guy thought. Like I was worried about that shit. I was like, oh, gee, what if they think? Oh, you know, I've got to do a certain thing. And I was always, all these things, right? And I'm like, when I hit rock bottom, I was like, not once did I think like, fuck yeah, I'm just going to go and neck myself.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the time that I spoke with the old mate that rang me at the shop and another mate of mine previous, the same words I said to them, I literally said to myself, I was like, you know what? This couldn't get any worse from here. Like, this is rock bottom. It ain't going to get any fucking worse than this. It can't.
It's only up from here.
Correct. And then that's when I was like, and it still took, like, it wasn't like the next day I was like, fuck yeah, I'm back on top. It was, I'm talking 18 months, man. Like, I'm talking, I went home for a while. I stopped working there. I went home for a while. I tried to get on top of things and I thought I was on top of it. I went away again, just boom, back down I went and I was like, all right, well, this is no good. And I was trying. I had a dude at Barrow, absolute legend. He was a labourer of ours on the job because I was a pipe fitter there. And he was like, one night, because I was getting angry, like I was losing it at people. But anyone who just looked sideways at me or like sort of say something smart, I would just try and fucking punch on with them, right? Which is not, it's not good at all.
It's not good, but that's you having this ball inside you that needs a place to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And he sat me down and he goes, dude, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He goes, you're not. Because like what you see now, that's what I was before I hit that, right?
Yeah.
But I also cared too much about what people thought.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not you. Like, you were different. Then he sat with me for like maybe an hour. We should have been working and we were talking. And then that night it hit me and I was like, yeah, this dude's right. And it was all like in that period where I'm like, fuck, I've hit rock bottom. So I left that job, went home, tried to sort my shit out, thought I sorted it, went to another job, didn't sort it. That also played a part in that business falling over that I spoke about. And then I grew from there. And what I realized, the number one thing I realized, and maybe this will help people someday, two things drove my mental health. One was the fitness desire. So I was boxing, I had to meet a certain weight, or that was my ideal. I've got to meet this weight. And it was like how I looked for people. What did people think about the way I looked? How I did certain things. So that whole, and they call it body dysmorphia, right? That's a huge thing.
Dysmorphia.
Dysmorphia, that's it. Yeah, body dysmorphia. That is a huge thing. So that played a bit of a part. And the next one that played a part was every single person on the internet, around me, at work. You go to work and you talk shit about people and you bring them down and stuff. That there plays on mental health. It may not play on it now, but later on. And all that of years and years of that shit just built up.
Yeah,
and
it plants seeds.
Yeah, 100%. And then how I got out of it was one day I was literally just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care what any of these people think. I don't care what I had to do. And this is probably the worst thing I had to do to get past it. I had to adopt the mindset that nothing matters. Yeah, people come and die in your life, right? Your dogs, you get your dog. I love my dogs, I'm animals and shit. They die. Get sad for a day, move on, get your shit done. You've got a life to live, you've got shit to do, you've got to go and build things and build your life. That is a mentality I had to adopt. Even with my wife, right? I love my wife, absolute legend. But at the end of the day, if she wants to leave and go, it's like, cool, no worries. Like, that's the mentality you need to adopt. If you don't have that mentality, everything just fucking beats you down. And that was the issue I had.
Because all you're trying to do is hold on to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Always trying to hold on to it. You know what I mean? It's like, I said this, like, this is going to be a real stiff one. Probably shouldn't put this in, but I'm going to tell you about it. So everyone I used to work away with, they bust up with their missus and they're taking the kids, or they use the kids on them as ransom and they use them as a tool to fight them, right?
Yeah.
I remember saying to this dude one day, multiple people, I'm like, why are you doing this? They're like, what? I'm like, why are you fighting over these kids? I'm like, just fuck off. Hop on a plane, go to a new country, start a new life. Forget about them. You're not going to get them. You're not going to win. You're just going to tear yourself on the ground. You're going to go and neck yourself or something. Go to a new country, start a new life. Those kids, when they're 18, they'll still fucking hate you. But when they're 30 and they understand life, they're going to be like, oh man, where is my dad?
Yeah.
Like, he knew what was up. Like, he made a great decision. As much as I didn't have him for 20 years, the man knew what he was doing. And they'll go and find you and they'll come back. And if they don't, who fucking cares? Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm just like, I know it's a sad, I don't have kids, so it's hard, but I'm like,
yeah, I get that, because it's hard because you reference things and it's like you love what you love until you and that's the epitome until you love something more.
yeah.
So, like I had a golden retriever, Buddy. That dog was he was just the best dog.
Yeah.
I got him when I was 18, and he would sit out on the back of Mum's fucking balcony in Stafford Heights, and he would just sit with me while I smoked and ranted about shit and whatever. And it was like that. I fucking love that dog. Go through my Facebook page, the personal page, and see if you can find a photo of Buddy. That dog had a fucking lion's mane.
Yes.
Like, I fucking love that dog. And then I met my kid's mum. And it's like, I thought it's like, it's like when you're a teenager, you're 13 and you're in love, you think that this is it. And then you're 18 and you fall in love with a bird and you're like, okay, well, no, this is it. And then you're 27 and you fall in love with a bird and you're like, well, no, fucking this is it. Right? You think you know things. And then I met the kid's mum and I'm like, okay, this is the upper crust. And then I had babies. And I've said this before, but I'm an old school hard ass in some regards. But when my kids were born, both of them, I cried like a fucking schoolgirl.
Yeah.
So there's this progression of love and depth and understanding. It's like every time you hit this, you're like, this is it. But then you hit another level. This is it.
Yeah.
No. Then you hit another level. No, this is it. But then there's another level.
Yeah. There's always more levels, right?
It is. And it's like, I don't know who said it, but somebody said, like, the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with in your life is the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, my mum, you spoke about your mum before. My mum had agoraphobia, which is a panic disorder. So she went from being a flight attendant, traveling all over Australia, to having a panic disorder to the degree that she couldn't leave the house and get to the letterbox.
Oh.
Like that, you're talking a vastly different. Travel in Australia, can't get to the footpath.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. And I was like 5. So I grew up with that. And, you know, so it's like, I sit back and I've said many, many different versions of it, but I've never been able to grasp when people talk about they get to that point where they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, so they look at ending it as an option. Mm-hmm. I've never been able to get to a point where I'm like, that's a viable choice. But at the end of 22, I got to a point where I was like, not that was an option, but I understand how people don't see another out.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, because it's like when the worst thing you've ever dealt with is the worst thing you've ever dealt with, you know, like somebody leaving you or the kids. Because when I split from the kids' mum, we were good for a while. And then I started dating a bird who I think we nicknamed her Psycho Sally. You know, she caused all kinds of fucking dramas.
Yes.
And we had to go through courts and stuff. But I got to a point where I was like, hang on a minute. Okay, the next 10 years might suck, but at some point they're going to be adults.
Yeah.
And they're going to come to me and go, what the fuck happened? Why did you disappear? Now, we never got to a point that they were adults for that to happen because my daughter's 10 and my son's 13, and their mum and I worked our shit out. But I walked away from a point of view of going, you know what, this is just doing damage. And I never got to a point where I'm like, oh, the optional idea is for me to fucking end my life. I got to a point where I was like, you know what, it's not great right now. And maybe we're not seeing eye to eye, and her power play is to keep the kids from me. But at no point did I go, well, I'm going to end it. Because I always was like, at some point they're going to be adults, and I want to fucking be here to see them graduate, get married, have children, I'm going to see grandchildren. If I leave, like, that's all gone.
100%.
What you said before, there is no failure in anything other than quitting.
Correct.
I think that there is so much out there that there is nothing wrong with having some emotions as a man. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with the fucking line, it's time to man up.
Yeah, 100%.
Take it, run with it, adjust, keep going.
Exactly. Like, at the end of the day, you think back 100 years ago, pretty sure 100 years ago now, pretty sure World War I was on 100 years ago, right? Those motherfuckers were fucking signing up and running in. I'm not very good on war history, let's say Normandy or something, but they were running in just onto the beaches and just getting slaughtered one after the other. And then here we are like going, my feelings are a bit hurt. And if we sit here for too long talking about that shit and thinking about that and not manning up, the world's going to go backwards. But there is other races on this planet that are stronger than that.
Yep.
And they'll just overcome that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, then you die off. At the end of the day, this is the Western race in the world is the strongest and the dominant race. We were.
It's also, right now, it's also the fucking weakest.
100% is the weakest. If like, for example, if Chinese come in here tomorrow and said, we're taking this country.
Oh, we're fucked.
We're fucked. Like, I'll be out there fighting. You'll probably be there. But there'll be a billion other people. There's not even a billion people in this country.
He'll be in a boat.
Yeah. There'll be nobody here. Like, they'll all be like, I give up. And they'll all just give up. Because they won't want to die. They'll be like, oh, maybe it'll be better. They'll get mowed down like Hitler did the Jews.
I'm an 80s baby.
100%.
Rambo, give me a Bowie knife and a grenade arrow. Something. No?
Anything. Guns.
Something.
We can't have guns, that's right.
Fuck guns. Let's get up close and personal.
Yeah, let's touch them.
You know what? Fucking busted the headphones.
That's twice now.
It is twice. Jesus Christ. You're a bad influence. I'll finish that topic off with going one of the best lines and the most fucking accurate is I don't know who to credit for this, folks, so credit whoever. Hard men create easy times.
Oh, yes, I love this one.
Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create hard men.
Strong men.
Strong men. Tomato, tomato.
Yep, exactly.
We are just fucking knee deep in weak men in hard times right now. We need a Trump.
You know what? I honestly don't think we've hit hard times. We are balls deep in weak men, right? We are there. We are at the weak men stage.
Yeah.
But you talk to people now and they're like, what happened was COVID. Everyone was like, oh my God, this is going to last forever.
Yeah.
And now they think we're in hard times. We are nowhere near fucking hard times. We are not even back to where we were before COVID yet. And people are going hard times. Okay, we're probably close, but people are going hard times. We are.
The mentality of men.
Oh, it's way weaker.
Yeah.
But from an economic point of view of where hard times are going to come from.
But that's what's first is the weak men.
Correct. And that's
then
what's
there's
coming.
the hard times.
Yes, correct. So next we're going to have, we got weak men now.
Yeah.
The next thing we're about to get is hard times where people are going to be walking to work. They're not going to be working.
Yeah.
And they're going to get fingered. But my business, your business, we may not survive. We'll probably just come here and talk shit and drink water out of the tap if we're allowed. You know what I mean? Like it could get that bad.
I'm sure as fuck not drinking Terramana.
You know what I mean? But it's like and that is on the cards. So you've got Trump who's like, righto, we have some issues. Not the first thing, but one of the things he done the other day was like, there is only two genders. Get your pronouns together by the end of the fucking day.
I was fucking, like, you know what?
Where has this man been?
That dude has some challenging topics, whatever, personality quirks, whatever you want to call them. But the underlying thing for him, and me and my sister, and you know my sister, she's about as opinionated as my old man. I love my sister. Shout out to Erin. But that man is, and I take ownership of this. That man is results focused, action driven, or vice versa. Action focused, results driven. He wants America to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's what he wants. 50, 60, whatever, years ago, America was the pinnacle.
100%.
Right? And we were 10 years behind. Now we're probably...
what 60 years?
2, 3, whatever. It's smaller than whatever it was. But we have always looked at America as the big brother. You know, we're like, you know, it's like your 15-year-old listening. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm fucking wearing this shirt. There's things jumping out at me on my peripherals. We've always looked at America as the big brother. You know, Australia is the 13, 14, 15-year-old looking at the 18-year-old. He can drink, he can do this. It's everything that they do is cool. And we follow. One of the big differences is that America gets behind anybody that creates a spark, they fan it.
Yeah.
There's a part of Australia that whenever anybody makes a spark, they want to fucking hammer it down.
Oh, bro, it's called tall poppy syndrome. They fucking love it here.
There it is.
Yeah. They love it here.
Yeah.
They're like, and this is what I've experienced the last 3 months, right? With people close to me, people not. It's like, they're like, as soon as you're winning, whether you're winning or not, so to a lot of these people, it appears I'm winning. I've been losing so much fucking money for so much time because I've grown this business so bloody hard, but I've been willing to dedicate myself to that.
Yeah.
They're like, gee, he's winning now. And instead of going, how the fuck do I win like him? How do I get to there? They're like, fuck this guy. And they all get their little things and they all whinge and bitch and carry on. That's their tall poppy syndrome. America seems to be, I could be wrong, I'm about to find out this year, seems to be the other direction where they're just like, shit, you're doing something cool. Let's
they rally.
Let's
rally behind you.
Yeah, let's fucking see this thing go, right?
Yeah.
They want to see you win. As long as you don't turn into a dick, they want to see you
but
win.
But even if the person does, like Richard Rawlings, you ever watch Fast and Loud, Gas Monkey Garage?
Yeah.
He's the prime example. There are people that love him and there are people that fucking hate him because he is a personality that has the ability to rub you the wrong way.
Yep.
Right? I think he's brilliant. I think some of the stuff he says, you're like, if you're in control of the edit, that would have been a good one to edit. But for the most part, he's a personality. He's energetic. He fucking loves what he does. It's like I draw from a lot of that stuff from, we talk about this all the time, like, you know, Pimp My Ride back in the day. In the day, you were like, that's amazing. 100%. Now when you know some shit, you're like, that's not going to work. You know, or there's a kilo of bog going to fucking fall out of that. But
remember all the cars now? They go, there's that show and they went back over and they're all just fucking shit boxes.
Oh, yeah, look, there's... Oh.
Falling apart. Fucking made the cars worse than they already were.
Look, you can't expect that a waterfall as a center console is going to last. Right. But for the most part, what did you used to drive? What was that Celica thing?
Yeah, Celica.
Yeah, but what was it? Because it wasn't the Mini Mustang Celica, it was the other Celica.
Yeah, it was a 79.
Yeah, it was still a coupe.
The original old school looking thing.
Yeah.
Square one. Yeah, that was sick.
It was a boxy...
Yeah, they were good, that model. I don't know what model it
was.
Well,
good is subjective.
They look good. Like, they look cool. But I reckon they look better than the new one with the scoop. The new rounder sort of speed boy.
Is there still a Celica?
No, not now, but like they had the new one in like early 2000s. They had the 90s and they had like the 80s.
Yeah, okay.
70s.
You're talking about the front wheel drive piece of shit. That's like the last Commodore was a front wheel drive. I'm pretty sure the last Commodore was a front wheel drive.
But it ripped. That 10 speed and it ripped.
But it was a front wheel drive.
I know. Hide
It's
it
not
once
a Commodore.
thrash the fuck out of it.
Call it what it is. Call it an Astra, a wide body Astra.
It was more like an Astra.
So gay.
It had a 4-banger and it was like 200 kilowatts. I hired one. I was actually mind blown about how I hired it. Like I went to this job in Melbourne. I hired it there for 2 days. And I was like, they're like, you want to upgrade? I was like, sure. They're like, it's free. I'm like, I'll take it. And then they gave me this Commodore and it's like, it wasn't a Calais, but it had leather and shit. I'm like, sweet, I'll have it. Hopped in it. And I was like, why is this thing so fast? Like it was just snappy. So I Googled it and I'm like, 10 speed, 4-cylinder, 200 kilowatt. So I proceeded to then thrash this thing around Melbourne.
Yeah.
And it was like on the highways, bro, just into it. And it was like 0 to 100. And back then it was fast, maybe 7 or 8 seconds. And I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And I was like doing videos and shit. It was sick.
But
it was still gay at the same time.
Bring up, I don't even know if they'll have this anymore, but bring
Are you
up
still
Big
looking
Bet.
for the silly car?
I wonder if he's still looking for Buddy, my old fucking...
Yeah, what happened to Buddy and the silly?
It wasn't in your feed.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
one of your
terrible.
other ones, but not in your
what
main.
about the Celica?
Well, I do have...
I just want to prove to the world how cool the Celica was.
I'm going to come back to that. But
So
there was nothing about that car.
Look
That's
how
horrible.
cool this thing was.
No. Top left. That was his.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the fucking hatchback. It was that
It had
weird...
a
Click that.
Yeah, okay, that one was gay. The hatchback was way cooler down the bottom here.
Well, like, cool as far as a
But it had a
frozen turd.
sunroof.
Yours didn't
No,
have a
no, it
sunroof.
didn't have a sunroof.
No, it didn't have a sunroof.
I'm trying to help you out here.
You're ruining the mood.
That was, but I honestly reckon that with some wheels, lowered, a bit of work done to that thing, a little bit of aftermarket.
Oh, I had fat wheels too. And
See?
no
You
power steering.
did not.
They
Yeah,
were
I
a
did.
good looking car.
Had fat wheels.
You remember,
No.
I had Pirellis on them.
Pirelli
Okay.
tyres.
Well, okay.
In the
When
end,
you
they
say
were working.
wheels, that means wheel. A Pirelli is a tire.
Yeah, the tyre, but that was the wide tyre.
Okay. Well, look, stretching a fucking
I don't care. I reckon they were sick.
that.
Yeah, I had a mate that had one painted. I had a mate that had one like the coupe
do-
one
I
down
Give
here.
this motherfucker some water. He's drunk.
Painted, slammed, good set of wheels, boosted. He had a SR20 in it, and it was sick.
Hit Google
stereo.
and go Mini Mustang Celica.
Right, let's see the Mini Mustang.
This is the Celica. Mini Mustang.
Did Toyota copy Mustang?
No, get rid of the S and no, get rid of the S.
No, leave the S.
Click down. Press down and hit go. Images. That is a Celica. No, stop. Click bottom left. The Reddit LB whatever.
That looks like Eleanor.
That
is
is
a replica.
mini. Hit visit. That is a mini Mustang Celica.
So they got
Now-
the same Celica front end and the Mustang rear.
It's a similar Celica front end. That, yeah, you know what? That's a good Celica.
That's actually, sorry, I can't have you back anymore. That one's actually
No,
cooler.
that is a better Celica.
We've got to convert. Huh?
No, the Mini Mustang is definitely the better Celica.
That is.
Do they actually sell them in Australia?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Last one. Celica Eleanor.
Did he just do this?
He did. He did. We've been talking shit for
Are
forever.
we having too much fun?
We are. But you know what? Next time I'll come up to you.
Oh, even better.
You just need a couch because I'm not Ubering home from fucking Ipswich.
I got plenty of Outback Tour tents. You can sleep in one of them.
Sold.
Dum. And I brought an aircon the other day for my camper, not going to lie. But I got stitched up. So I brought it, and it was like, I thought it come with the battery. You got to buy the battery separate.
No, hang on. Well, okay. Oh, there's 2 minutes to choose. That's an actual Eleanor. No, keep scrolling. Hit more images. Scroll down more. No, that's an Eleanor. That's a Celica. Oh, see, now I just want a Mustang.
Remember Sega Rally Championships on like,
That fuck Cigarelli. Go Daytona.
oh, Daytona's good. Remember that Celica right there? They had that one in it. That was on, what was that?
The
Sega
eBay
Drive.
one.
Sega Mega Drive?
Are you talking about the eBay image?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was cool. No,
Yeah.
okay. What? S2000 powered 1976. No, that's gay. That's an actual Eleanor. Scroll back up. Keep going. That's not really what I want, but across to the right, a little bit further, click on that. Okay, that's not really what I was aiming for, but that's a Celica, right?
It actually looks pretty fucking good.
You know what? That would be a lot of fun.
Wouldn't it? What engine do they come with?
They were a straight 4 2.2.
Non-turbo, NA.
Oh fuck yeah!
Look at the red one.
Yeah, that's a little Joe Dirt for me.
That's what exactly I was going for.
Well, there you go. Well, you know what? Whatever. Look. I can't afford an Eleanor. Do you know what? Those fucking Celicas are. I mean, they are pulling ridiculous money right now.
Crazy, eh?
They're still cheaper than a Mustang Fastback though. So
Well, have you seen Jap cars? I used to have a 180 SX with an RV20 in it, VG30 high flow. Made a bit of power. It was a good little car. I sold it for 10 grand in like 2007.
right.
That same car is now selling for like 30, 40 grand.
Yeah, we were talking about this. What were we? We were talking. We had all the boys on. We had the group one, the builds, beers, and bullshit. That was. I was talking about my VL Commodore.
Yes.
I sold that for 3 grand. That was a manual converted, wheels, tires, lowered, all the fruit, and I sold that for 3 grand. That today is, I don't know, minimum in the condition that it was in then, minimum 15.
It's wild, eh?
Anyway,
So wild.
okay, we could sit here and reminisce all night.
We could.
I want to give a shout out to SP Tools. We had a Is he out of beers?
No, I'm just showing up the
he's
stubby
showing the
cooler.
stubby cooler.
Oh fuck!
You're like SP Tools. I'm like, ooh.
You two were on the same page. I thought you were like, oh, fucking I'm out of beers here, bro.
You amount of bears, but no.
No, we had Tom Tucker, the CEO for SP Tools, down here, and we went out to SP Tools twice to film and talk go-karts and everything SP Tools. You know what? You can spend whatever you want on whatever you want, but the kit that I've got out there, the information, the time that they spent with us, shout out to SP Tools. Tom is a legend. If you need some tools, talk to SP Tools. Who are you sponsored by?
I don't have any sponsors, but I have a lot of affiliates, like people who look after us. Lowe's, by the way, Lowe's Australia absolutely nailed us.
Look, I'm going to wear this again. I'm just going to cut the sleeves off because...
Yeah, they're a bit... Look, I love Lowe's because they've hooked us up here because we run all their shit in our videos. However, you probably need to find some flexi material. But anyways, we'll carry on. So Lowe's have been pretty good to us.
Okay, we'll finish this. This is having the sleeves removed. These shorts, because my thighs are fucking enormous, I'm going to turn into a bandana.
Oh.
And
can I come back for another podcast to see that?
you absolutely can.
Yes.
I want to come up and check out your shit, though.
Yeah, come visit.
I want to see you in your element because you're a nut and I love it.
I'm here for the good times. I say this all the time.
Hey,
that's all I'm
good
here for.
here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
There you go. I don't want to hit the. I'm going to fuck this up, but I don't want to hit a funeral in pristine condition. I want to hit the funeral sideways with a few skid marks.
100%. Have you heard that Ludacris? I think it was Ludacris that sung it. And he's like, why tiptoe through life to arrive safely at death? That is not me. My body is already half fucked. I've got bulges in my neck, my back. I spent 9 months of last year barely being able to walk properly. Like, I'm filming videos where I can barely stand up straight because I kept fucking my back. Now I'm going to the gym, I might add, and drinking less to keep it strong again. But, like, I am flying in sideways to that motherfucker. And it'll probably be in the next 20 years, to be honest.
My man was a bit of a dick, but I will say this. He used to race E.H. Holden's back in the day, and he came up with Dickie Johnson and all those, sponsored guys. Mm-hmm. And Dad used to say, you know what, I may not have the money that they have, and I may not have the sponsorship, and I may not have the prestige. But I tell you what, if I can't win, I'm going to come in second looking good.
So good.
I have a footer, an image of him crossing the line at the end of a race, coming in second, third, whatever, semantics, backwards. He was like, I'm going to get a photo in the fucking local news. And he fucking, about 60, 70 meters, whatever it was before the finish line, hit the handbrake, spun it around, threw it in reverse, and went over the finish line backwards. He had a straightaway. There was no excuse for that. He literally did that for publicity. He was like, if I can't win, I'm going to come in second looking good.
That is so good, but right?
He was my man was an interesting fella. And maybe next time you come down, we'll talk about how Shawnee here put him in his place in a very big way one night.
Oh, so good.
But for tonight, James.
Yes.
My middle name.
The best.
I won't forget it again.
I hope not.
Thank you very much for coming down.
Well, thanks for having me.
I love your story. I love that you are just staying true to yourself, chasing that dream, moth to the flame, following whatever grabs your attention, because that is so true for me too. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for introducing me to a beer that I will not drink again. But congratulations for finding something that just is a perfect fit for you. For anybody that doesn't know where you're from and they're, for whatever reason, tuning into the last 30 seconds of this video,
piratecamco.com.au.
Facebook, Instagram, and apparently Threads.
And YouTube. Yeah, apparently Threads. Threads are shit. But and YouTube. YouTube's
And
cool
YouTube.
because we trash it and, you know, cost me a lot of money. Please support. No.
I love it. Thanks very much, buddy.
Thanks, Legend. Thanks for having us.
Have a good night. Bye, everybody.